Shalom Israel, Salakia. We were kind of talking about some things before we started in class and it kind of ran over, so we apologize for being so late. Shout out Swore the Truth family, San Antonio, Guatemala, Los Angeles, California, Atlanta, and in London, England. Hope everybody's doing well. Also, Shalom. Stream of Wisdom, Houston, Quatazop. Hope you're doing good, brother. Shout out Rochester, New York, Zion. Shalom, Stream of Wisdom, and shout out Stream of Wisdom, Virginia. Hope everybody's doing well out there as well. We're going to send our prayers to the Most High, give the Most High His praise and His due, and then we're going to sit back here and
Try to get over there. No problem.
We're going to set our prayers up, and then we're going to go into class. So, Majim Wapanya, Yerusha Shalom. Us. How to get over there, man?
I got the same one.
Oh, you don't. It is not the same.
Mine looks the exact
It's
same.
not the same. It's not the same. It's not true. Okay. Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Hawa. Nothing to know. The war. Zayawam. The water. Aman.
Bless Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the light this day. Thanks, so be it.
Okay. Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Hawa. Nothing to know. Rayach. The water.
Aman. Bless Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
Imagine Waponya, Yerusha Shalom.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Rock the Yahweh by Shem Shai.
Hawa. Nothing to know. Hashabbat. Bashalom. The water. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us Sabbath and peace. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121. Anasha, Ayanyamya, Ahoya, Maaya, Yabuaa, Isaiah, Yabuaa, Yahweh, Sha'asha, Shimon, Wa'awatiza, La'a, Yonathan, Ramawat, Regalia, Yala'a, Nawam, Shoshamoya, Hana, Yala'a, Nawam, Wala'a, Yishon, Shoshamoya, that's right. Yahweh, Shemoya, Yahweh, Cesaria, Yanyamya, Hashemosh, Hakaya, Bayawam, Wala'ah, Halabana, Balayah, Yahweh, Yashemoya, Makam, Yashemosh, Mapasha, Yahweh, Yashemosh, Awarakia, Rabu'ah,
I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help comes from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thy soul from all. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Israelite Credo. Shema Yasharab.
Shema Yasharab.
Yahweh. Elohim. Yahweh. Echad. Shema Yasharab. Yahweh. Elohim. Yahweh. Echad. Shema Yasharab. Yahweh. Elohim. Yahweh. Echad.
Hear Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one.
Lord's Prayer. Abanoah, Shema Shemayim, Kodesh, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Watazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashmaya, Netanyahu, Raham, Kol, Yawam, Wasalachano, Wathino, Wasalachano, Wathino, Wala'ah, Tabyano, Wasawan, Abo, Washayno, Bayan, Ray, Kaya, Raka, Wamalekwa, Waha'ah, Wahafapa'arah, La'ah Walamya. Amen.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Amen.
Ten Commandments. La'ayah, Laka, Alahayah, Ayah, Panya.
Thou shalt have no other powers before me.
Number 2. La'ah, Ta'ayna, Laka, Pesor, Wala'ah, Ta'aybayo.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, nor serve them.
Number 3. La'ah, Ta'lach Wachet, Shem, Yahweh, Washawah.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Number 4. Zakar, Hayawam, Ashabah, Rakodash.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5. Kabah, Abaka, Ya'amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6. La'ah, Zaratazah.
Thou shalt not kill, murder.
Number 7. La'ah, Tala'ah.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'ah, Tagalah.
Thou shalt not steal.
La'ah, Ta'ayna, Shakwa.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
La'ah, Ta'chamad, Kol, Asherah, La'araka.
Thou shalt not covet anything which is thy neighbor.
Hashem Yahshad.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the law.
Israel Yeshakim.
Take seats.
All right. Once again, the title of today's class is The Extremes the Prophets Endured to Give Israel a Chance to Repent. And before we go into the beginning of the end of Israel's fall, we want to go into we're going to talk a little bit about Jeremiah and Ezekiel and the lengths that they went through to try to get Israel to see that they had to repent in their ways.
Thank you.
Now, on 1 Corinthians 1:22, the scripture says that the Jews require a sign. Let's go to somebody read it real quick. 1 Corinthians 1:22.
Come. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22. For the Jews require a sign.
The Jews got to see something. The Jews got to physically see something falling from the sky. Or also what this means is the Jews function and respond better to symbolism. Something has got to be shining in front of them. Israel operates better through shock effect. They respond with shock effect. They have to see somebody roaming down the street looking a certain way for there to be a message from God. You can't just... Israel as a whole doesn't get stimulated from reading. These are the facts. Read it from the top and read the whole thing through.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22. For the Jews require a sign.
Read on.
And the Greeks seek after wisdom.
The Greeks will sit back and read books understand science, understand cause and effect, and make changes based off cause and effect. Patterns in history. Esau will look at historical patterns to kind of set their mind frame moving forward.
And make adjustments.
Listen, Esau had enough presence of mind when they were building, the Greeks in particular, when they were building their society. Who did they build their society on? The histories of the Hebrews, the Egyptians, and the Babylonians. They sat back here and took the three greatest civilizations on earth and patterned their land and their country and off those societal and civilizational aspects. And then all of a sudden they were able to skyrocket and become a world power, not just because of their military presence, but what they want to say is civilization began with the Greeks. It's not true. Plagiarized society began with the Greeks. But at least they had enough common sense to sit back here and not try to build their society off the top of their dome. They took signs, not even signs, they took methods that worked and made those methods theirs.
Successful approaches.
And they took successful approaches. We read when the Ptolemaic king, I think Ptolemy IV, came into power. He was in Egypt. He wanted the Hebrews to break down, the priests to break down the Bible and the understanding of the Bible. So they said, we need this for our culture. We need your understanding for our culture. They did the same thing for Egypt and Babylon. Now Josephus has an issue with the Greeks because of how they plagiarized and caught it their own. I get it. Esau's going to steal everything. Listen, in 50 years, Michael Jackson going to be white.
For real.
How much you want to bet?
Yeah, blonde
They're
hair.
going to put a picture of JT on there, Justin Timberlake guy. They're going to say he was white. It wasn't MJ, it was JT. They going to sit back and take JT out and say he was Michael out. They're going to have like white chocolate. I don't know if you remember white chocolate for the basketball, like for the Kings. Like he was Jordan that. Listen, Esau will take black exploits and make it his. There's no doubt about it. That's what the king did. That's what the king did. Like he stole all the king. I'm talking about Elvis Presley. He took all the black dances and styles and singing out and just made it his. And he was the king. And Chuck Berry, all of them. That's why that Tutti Frutti nigga had such a problem with him, man. Yeah, Little Richard. Yeah, Little Richard didn't like him, man. Little Richard and it was what's his name, Ray Charles. He said, man, this guy is what he's a fraud, bro. He's a fraud. He took what brothers did and he blew up. Yeah. The point is we understand that's Esau, but at least he has the wisdom to copy and mimic. Yeah. Israel don't even want to copy and mimic. They don't want to follow. Because, to a black man, following means they weak.
Right. You got to go.
To a brother, you just weak. You have to follow somebody. You got to do it the way you want to do it, man. You got to do it with your strength.
I got the muscle.
It's all spirit. It's all desire. And I made it my way. And we keep failing that way. Right. And the Jews require something physical out the sky or something with shock value to get us to respond and move. That's the point I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain the Greek way about writing, mimicking, taking something that's good and making it theirs. That's what Esau does. We don't even listen. We don't follow unless something's crazy, something dramatic happens to us. Yeah. We need dramatic effects to get us to listen.
18-wheeler flipped over and I didn't die.
The Spirit is talking to me.
It's time to listen.
It's time to change. Or my cousin Ray does the same type of dirt I do. He got shot in the streets. That's the sign that I got to stop selling dope. Am I right or wrong? That's where niggas get that. Listen, the fact that using drugs and selling drugs destroys your community. Now, that ain't gonna give me the change, nigga. I'm gonna keep selling these drugs.
Somebody got the
you ever heard that? But old man giving you wisdom, say, man, you don't want to hurt your community like that. I ain't trying to hear that, dog. But your cousin or your brother getting shot, now you want to change life.
We're doing the same thing.
I know. That's my point. That makes us change. Not wisdom, not counsel, not common sense. Right or wrong?
Correct.
So that's what that verse means. So because the Most High knows we need signs, we need shock value, we need us to see things on a daily basis to shake us up. Is why the Most High had these prophets go through some humiliating, degrading things.
So you're saying it's hard. Being a prophet is not just getting the 10 Commandments or just getting the scrolls and going out there and teaching.
I'm gonna say this: being a prophet or a teacher, all that glitter's not gold, bro. All that shine, oh, he's the priest. He dropped out scriptures. He's got 15 thumbs up in the class. That's not enough, bro. And there's way more hell that comes with teaching and prophesying than what we think.
And we're not saying don't shoot for that. We're just giving you a realistic assessment of the life that a lot of times in this realm, particularly, you're going to live certain experiences just so other people eat off the experience you went through.
And that's what happens now. So we experience loss as a lesson for other people.
For other people.
That conversation we had with your brothers just before class started, that was blood, sweat, and tears, bro. That was loss. That was suffering. That was experience that didn't go the way we expected. So that we can sit back here and help men avoid 30 years of turmoil. Or 18, how about 18 years of turmoil?
18 years of slave.
You better like this. So listen, we're trying to help through the losses and experiences the Most High puts us through. Or the losses and experiences that we've seen other men go through. So, with that being the case, let's go now to Jeremiah 27, verse 1 through 12. And we're going to go into one of the things that the Most High had Jeremiah do very early in his prophesying under Jehoiakim. Now don't forget, Jehoiakim was the king for 11 years. Then he died or got put in prison. Jeconiah, his son, was in power for 3 months. And then after that 3 months, Zedekiah reigned for 11 more years. That's how many years, class? What's 11 plus 11?
22.
There we go. So that was 22 years of bad kings from Jehoiakim to Zedekiah. Keep that in mind. Read verse 1, huh?
We always have a poor state up top.
Oh, listen. I don't even want to go into that part.
Okay.
22 years of bad kings, right? 22 years that Jeremiah got to teach these guys before the fall in 586, the official fall in 586. So read that.
Jeremiah.
Oh, wait, no, we got to salute him in. Come on. Oh, my water, you're first. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mawala, Shah Shabbatah, Ban Yahweh, Ban Yasharallah.
Mawala, Shah Shabbatah, Ban Yahweh, Ban Yasharallah. I'm much. Yahweh, Hashem, Hashem,
Yahweh Shimei Hashem Berakatum.
all right. That's good energy, man. That's really good energy. Jeremiah 27 and 1. Let's get this.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 27, verse 1 reads, in the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, came this word unto Jeremiah from the Lord, saying.
We read this a few weeks ago, but it has greater meaning. As I was going over it again, it was important that we understood this. So I want you guys also to go online on the channel to watch what I'm about to put on there, so you can see what the scriptures are saying, kind of in real time. Okay, so read that. Read the next verse, sir.
Come, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord to me, make thee bonds and yokes, and put them upon thy neck.
He said, Most High told Jeremiah to put bonds and yokes on your neck. I know there's a delay online, but check out online what an image of what some neck bonds would be for Jeremiah, who was ordered to put this on his neck. This might not be the exact thing, but listen, this is kind of an image of what God said, Jeremiah, for the entire campaign of these kings.
Wow.
Every morning, I want you to walk around the city, man. Everybody is watching Jeremiah. Then this is jacked up. At the time, there's no captivity.
It's a good
For
time.
the first 10 and a half years, everything was cool in the city, right? And you're looking like a fool, right? Talking the word of the Lord with this damn neck shackle on, right? For 10 and a half years, this is a new fool, right? Imagine the ridicule.
You're extreme.
You're overboard. You're an idiot.
Israel. You know
And you know. Hey John, is it okay now? I know the I've noticed that it's loud as hell in general. the sometimes the class is loud. Is it still loud? Anyway, we'll try to tweak that. I think it's the camera has the sound resonates heavily on the camera. Might want to just turn it down a little bit, Salakia. But back to the point. Jeremiah is walking the streets of Jerusalem, teaching the Bible.
That little computer and play the mic, that little computer mic. There's some kind of app for this stuff.
Anyway, I get it.
I think it's peaking. That's what he's saying. It's peaking. You see,
we were sending prayers and
my Willa had that power voice.
The power voice.
That's what it was. The power voice blew the mic.
Power voice blew the mic.
No, sir.
He said it's better now.
Okay.
It was on my Willa's part. Too much power is emanated off the mic, man. There's too much strength. Too much power out.
He had an angel in his chest.
Yeah. It was all spirit out. It was like, whoa! Judah! Yeah. That's Judah at their most potent primal spirit. When they really study. That's the answer. When Judah studies, that's the answer you get.
Shalom, everybody.
He ain't read enough. He ain't read a paragraph. He ain't read a paragraph. Okay, let's keep going. So, with that being the case, read verse 2 again.
Come, thus saith the Lord to me, make thee bonds and yokes, and put them upon thy neck.
So listen, that is a real order. Bonds of yokes on your neck, bro. Let's keep going now.
3, and send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab.
So on top of you wearing it, he says send it to all the kings all around your jurisdiction. Send you a wooden shackle to the king of Edom.
Yep.
To the king of Moab. Read on.
And to the king of the Ammonites, and to the king of Tyrus, and to the king of Zidon, by the hand of the messengers which come to Jerusalem unto Zedekiah, king of Judah.
He says, you're going to be wearing this neck brace, this wooden slavery tassel, until King Zedekiah. That's 22 years. He didn't know that at the time. He didn't know it was going to be 22 years. He just said, you're going to be wearing this through Zedekiah's reign, man.
Is it similar to Noah's battle where he had to keep building that ship for all those years? I think 100 years.
Yeah.
And it didn't rain.
God. I'm going to say this. It's all similar. You know what's similar? The shame. The shame of it. The ridicule. The embarrassment. The humiliation. Being downtrodden. Being clowned. Being laughed at. Being humiliated. That is the reoccurring theme of being a leader, being a teacher, being a prophet. You get a heavy dose of humiliation. Can you imagine the level of disrespect that he's the only one, Moses is the only one had him do that? Yes.
I was just wondering, what it would take, before you cross your threshold in the morning, when you get up, you put these shackles on. How you mentally prepare.
You're putting these bracelets. You putting these bracelets on, bro. Listen, you got to walk through the door like this.
Right.
This is horrible, and the attacks.
How to get prepared.
And Brother Guitar has seen it sometimes. Brother Judah, Jake got it. Jake? Mm-hmm. They start coming at you sometimes. Why are you trying to confront me? They'll clown, and then they'll get violent.
Because he's going to, listen, don't forget, all these classes we've had, most of the time, he's right in the temple. He's in the temple court. He's around all the priests, all the leaders, all the people are seeing him teach, prophesy with this neck brace on.
Wow.
Constantly, listen, this is going to happen to y'all if you don't change. But why is the Most High having Jeremiah go through these extremes? Because Israel needs to see the shock value. They need the sign. This is what's going to happen to me if I don't change. Every day they see it. I'm going to be in these chains. When we sit back here and walk from here to Babylon.
Damn, that's crazy.
It ain't like you're walking just free. There was impediments put on you. On that walk. Yes, sir.
Did he have to go to sleep with this on?
I don't know. It don't say. I hope not.
I don't think it must have.
That's hell, bro.
That's super hard.
That's hard. There is no comfort, bro. But just think about the pain in the neck, bro. The scraping.
And it's heavy.
Ain't no heating through the day.
Nah, bro.
Like during the day, the function of the day.
How are you gonna operate? That's my point.
That's fast.
Can you imagine 22 years of this? And the only way he didn't, the funny thing, he didn't get to the full 22 years because towards the end he was in jail. And we were going to that even worse later on. It was this and then jail.
Wow.
Basically, he's a political prisoner.
For the Lord. Yes, sir.
Even with the he was in jail.
No, I said he didn't. I don't think he was able to wear this all the way through because he was in jail.
Okay.
And I must imagine they took that out and put him in other shackles.
Yeah.
He went from this shackle to some other shackles, to jail shackles. This is what the Most High had him go. His son, his favorite, the messenger that the only one that was really locked into him at the time. They might have had other prophets, but he was the main one. Let's keep going.
Verse 4.
It's crazy, bro.
And command them to say unto their masters, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Most High of Israel, Thus shall ye say unto your masters, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power, and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant. And the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him. And all nations shall serve him, and his sons, and his sons' sons, unto the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon.
So this is why the yoke was put.
Okay.
You guys have to put your neck under the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar. But listen, that symbolized hell to Israel, because Israel didn't want to serve nobody. Israel didn't want to accept that they were going to be second-class citizens to nobody. They didn't want to accept that they had to come last and that Nebuchadnezzar was going to be the leader over them and you were going to be put in captivity because of your wickedness.
Nebuchadnezzar the first, right?
Yeah. So the thing is this. Jesus, listen, Nebuchadnezzar's coming. You're going to have to serve him or you're going to be uprooted out of your land. The Most High, the crazy thing is, even with these shackles, the Most High was still trying to say, listen, if you accept being a second-class citizen, you'll only be a servant to them. You can still keep your land. The Most High was still being merciful. The Most High didn't say, listen, you guys are going to get uprooted out until later on. So let's keep going.
Come, that nation will I punish, saith the Lord, with the sword, and with the famine, and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand.
So he's like, listen, if these nations don't submit, the pestilence is coming. The pestilence comes from the Lord. Famine. I'm going to destroy you guys if you just don't accept your punishment as slaves. Read on.
Verse 9. Therefore, hearken not ye to your prophets, nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying.
So you say, that's why you don't listen to him?
He says, don't listen to this. Listen to what he's going to say.
Okay.
He says, don't listen to the prophets that say what? Read on.
Nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying, ye shall not serve the king of Babylon.
So he's like, there's going to be people in these different countries, different prophets in these different factions saying, don't serve the king of Babylon. There's another way out from being up under this guy. Yes, I.
Is this like a Nat Turner spirit?
Well, this is a nigga spirit. How about that? You know, it's different. It's different. What I mean is this. It's not just talking about Israel. He said Edom, Tyre and Zidon, Moab. All of you have to learn you're going to serve Babylon.
I mean, a slave revolt, like kind of.
It's a slave revolt. But you know, it's a slave revolt based on Israel never accepting what the Most High put them through. Even we're going to sit back and take Nat Turner and Toussaint L'Ouverture, right? Like, Toussaint L'Ouverture, they overcame slavery. But you know it was at a great cost, right?
All right.
What was the great cost? Does anybody know? More than that. More than death.
I don't know.
Do you realize that Haiti was still paying France for reparations in the 90s? Like 80s and 90s? They just got out of paying France back for giving them independence. Napoleon said, listen, I'll give you independence, but you have to pay us in perpetuity for giving you freedom. So they were just economic slaves versus physical slaves. They were economic slaves for hundreds of years. That was a major, listen, they were still, so what was the Most High doing? The Most High still had Levi in slavery. You want to fight for your flipping freedom? Cool. You're still picking cotton. You're still picking sugarcane just for a different master. And you're still living in meager wages. It just went from physical slavery to being a debt slave. Because this is what there's a book called The Wealth of Nations. I think the guy's name is Adam Smith. The British Empire were the first empire to start, I guess, painting slavery in a negative light. And people thought, oh man, the British were really upstanding people, and they were good guys, and the British were rising above the fray of slavery, and they even had their navy, which is the greatest in the world, enforcing the shutting down of slavery around the world. But you know what they said? They said slavery just isn't cost effective. It's easier to have them work for you, give them a wage, so you don't have to deal with the white man's burden. You know what the white man's burden for slavery was? I got to feed you. I got to house you. I got to give you medicine. I got to give you medicine. I got to pay for all these extra responsibilities. It's more fiscally intelligent that I give you a meager wage and let you spend that meager wage on your own medication, which I'm going to sell you. Pay for housing, which I'm going to have control over.
It's more.
Hold on. Pay for doctors and hospitals that I'm going to have control over. Why not have control over all these different avenues and have you pay me? So I'm going to give my money 4 or 5 different ways versus me having to pay all of these different expenses out of pocket. Does that make sense? So really, they made more money freeing slaves than keeping them.
Because it's a money game.
But because it was about power and control, and it was about full spectrum dominance. Not only do I have you working for me, now I control the medical industry. I control the pharmaceutical industry. I control the housing industry. I control the food industry. So now I have control over all these different arenas where we read about in Deuteronomy, where you have to serve your enemies in hunger, in thirst, and in want of all things. That was when they came out of the servitude class. You're just serving me on a more exquisite, intelligent level. And I gained your desire. I don't got to deal with slave revolts no more. I don't got to deal with these angry ass Toussaint L'Ouvertures and Nat Turners. I can rest comfortable because you have the illusion that you're free. But you're paying me for everything. So are you really free?
Nope.
That's the point. So all Esau did is created a higher level of slave. So we're still in slavery. So we got out of the physical. We got away from the psychological mind. You know what? That we're in this life of this unfixable life. So when you were in slavery, you knew there was a ceiling over you. Now there's a glass ceiling. You don't know it's a ceiling. It's there.
Do anything.
You think you can do everything. This is a glass ceiling. So you don't go up there and I didn't know there's something over there. Oh, it was always there.
Like Kanye, bro.
So
Getting mad.
Yeah.
You tried it all. You did it all. You went to the very top of the top.
And then they canceled you.
You got canceled. You did fashion. They didn't let you in. You just make beats, bro. You're gonna make beats and rap. And that's it. And that's for us.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go.
And you can make these little fancy shoes make us money. Because the thing is, they took Yeezys and they made all those Adidas foams off of it. They made the concept and made more money than his Yeezys.
Off his concept.
They took the pattern and the concept off of what he put and made all those Adidas foam shoes.
Yeah.
And blew up.
To win off.
And they won off of them. And if they didn't need them, they got rid of them. What am I trying to say? What good was all those slave revolts? It didn't change anything.
Yeah.
We still are in slavery. And they still have a greater stranglehold over us now than ever. But this is a confirmation that the Most High still has control over us. The Most High has his hand over us, just like he had in the time of Jeremiah. Nebuchadnezzar was going to be your leader. You're going to have to serve him no matter how you want to wiggle around your servitude. The only way to get through the servitude is to accept it and to acknowledge the Heavenly Father and be appreciative that your conditions weren't worse. All the men in the nation who grew accepted their condition while honoring the Most High at the same time. They thrived. And the powers that be elevated them based off of their willingness to adjust to their circumstances and their ability to serve the Heavenly Father at the same time. Those are the ones who got brought, whether it was Joseph, Daniel, all these guys. They got brought up because they were in order. And they accepted the present geopolitical situation at the time.
Yeah.
So now we are, once again, I took it a little bit away, but I want to kind of paint that picture about that was good for class, for context. But now we're back here in Jeremiah 27, and Jeremiah is out here walking around with these shackles out. And set a pair of shackles to all the kingdoms around him, including Jehoiakim. You're going to have to serve Babylon. And Jehoiakim's mad as hell throwing this shit away. I don't throw it. Boys, get this nigga, man. I ain't serving nobody. Let's keep going. Give me verse 10. Yeah.
And I'm not going to be off the point. Remember, this is Israel or Judah, the kingdom of Judah, in their independent state. We all know how our people act when they're self-sustained. It's one thing to be broken down by the slums and the hoods, and there's a malleability to that. Mm-hmm. There's still a natural humility that comes from poverty. But when you're quote-unquote independent, you can't tell anybody it's independent now and their life's broken down. If they have a good job, you can't tell them anything. If their household's straight, you can't tell them anything. If they ride a basically nice car, you cannot talk to them.
It's the truth.
Imagine.
When you said you can't talk to them, you can't enlighten them to where they'll be willing to listen and change something in themselves. That's what talking to them.
Because I'm pretty sure you did the malls millions of years, right?
Yeah.
You know, teaching one brother when he has a gold chain on and some Jordans, you try to get the same scriptures, the same book. He's like, "That's cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alright."
Listen, the gold chain and Jordan's one thing. Try to talk to a brother that got a Mercedes in the parking lot.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen.
You can't tell him shit at.
That's Atlanta, Georgia. But I was in Georgia.
Listen, Mercedes, and like a 3-car garage. You can't tell niggas shit. 3-car garage, you can't tell them nothing. 2-car maybe. 3-car, a 3-car separate garage. You can't tell them nothing. Huh? When that 3-car garage is separate from the actual property, and you in order to have that, you gotta have like a 1/4 acre lot or something like that. You got a quarter acre lot, you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah, it's done.
A quarter acre, you can't say nothing to them. A quarter acre on a corner lot, you can't tell them nothing. They got Mediterranean style roof out. You can't tell them nothing. You know those clay shingles like you can't tell them nothing.
That's that Nabal spirit, man.
Oh, it's a lot of spirits. Nabal is a whole lot of spirits. Vermilion, listen, you can't. I got things. I've accomplished things. I got a pension. I got money. I got a pension and another job. You can't tell me nothing.
I have a storehouse. That's significant.
Yeah. Listen, the storehouse for black men is I got 20 years in the military. Yep. I got that pension, and I got a full job that's making me legitimate money because of my military pension. You can't tell me nothing. Yeah. You can't tell me nothing.
It's very, very rare that you'll meet a spirit that wants to serve the Most High like that. It's very rare. There's every blue moon you get a needle through the thread, a needle, a little thread hole in the spine. Listen, but the average Jake, if they're comfortable, just comfortable, the word is it's like throwing a rock at a wall, trying to get the word to penetrate.
So this is Israel now, at this time, when Jeremiah is walking around with the symbol of suffering around him. I want to bring it back to the point. So give me verse 10.
God, for they prophesy a lie unto you, to remove you far from your land, and that I should drive you out, and ye shall perish.
We're done.
But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, and serve him, those will I let remain still in their own land, saith the Lord. And they shall till it, and dwell therein.
Putting your neck under that yoke. This is that yoke online again. You want to put your neck under this yoke and make money for daddy out in Babylon.
Oh my God.
That's what the Lord
is horrible here.
Listen, you got to make money for daddy. You working for nothing. Wear these shackles. Embrace this servitude. And Israel's mad as hell. They don't want to hear this, And then Jeremiah got the shackles on himself.
Yep.
And he's causing anger, frustration. They're cussing him out. When he comes around, everything's cool. Everybody's smiling, laughing, and Jeremiah comes these shackles out. Like, God damn it. Can you get out of here,
I was having a good day.
Everybody's smiling. Then you're the guy that's the bearer of bad news. Yeah. Okay, death and destruction is coming. The guy that's we get the same thing. Always the guy that's counseling about I got to change. We're those guys that always you got to do more.
She's leaving out. No,
you better change. You better change. You better be a better example. You're on the hook. You better change the things inside of you.
My family's straight.
We're the same. We represent the same thing. You got to do more, give better. Bad's coming if you don't change. The heat is on. The pressure is on. You gonna make adjustments for the Most High or not? This is what the prophets represented. Doom and gloom if you don't submit. Doom and gloom if you don't submit. Accept the inevitable. Accept the change. Make the adjustments. Be humble. This is what's happening. Read on.
I spake also to Zedekiah, king of Judah.
So this chapter 27 was pieced together at different times. It wasn't just he wrote this. He must have wrote this chapter 27 during the time of Zedekiah. So he's writing from the time of Jehoiakim all the way to Zedekiah. I was talking to these guys about wearing these damn shackles and accepting the fact that you're going to be a servant. He's about 22 years of wearing a shackle. So read verse 12.
God, I spake also to Zedekiah, king of Judah, according to all these words.
And the couple of guys that you do teach and talk that kind of want to hear it, the other guys want to pull them away. Yeah. Like, what's he talking about, man? Don't worry about him, bro.
Well, that was what Zedekiah was. Zedekiah, you'll read, Zedekiah really didn't have a beef with Jeremiah. He respected the counsels, but he was weak and didn't have the strength to back off the princes and the ruling class of Israel to follow the path the Spirit was trying to guide him in. When you read about great kings, what made a great king was the fact that he loved the Lord so much, he was willing to cut off all of these princes that were vying for power.
Support systems, yeah.
That were the financial backing of the kingdom. He cut off the financial back of the kingdom out of his love of the Lord. He made them uncomfortable versus them making him change. We'll go into that probably within a week or two. But read verse 12 again from the top.
I spake also, Salaki, Jeremiah chapter 27, verse 12 reads, I spake also to Zedekiah, king of Judah, according to all these words, saying, bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babylon, and serve him and his people, and live.
Give me verse 13 and we'll stop it from here.
Come, why will ye die, thou and thy people, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, as the Lord has spoken against the nation that will not serve the king of Babylon?
So this is what he was telling Jehoiakim all the way to Zedekiah. Don't die except your servitude, except being up under the yoke of another, except a large sum of your finances and your gross domestic product being sent out for the uplifting and the betterment of your nation. Except that a lot of your grains, a lot of your fruits and vegetables are going to feed Babylonian soldiers. Except that the gold is going to sit back and be in the stockpiles of the Babylonian Empire. Be a servant, which means you're going to live under rations. Because that's what that means. If you're going to be a vassal, you're going to be living under rations, living on a budget, have no surplus, have no extra. This is why the nobles were so pissed. Because who loses the most during these situations? When there's economic crunches, who normally loses the most? Your upper middle class.
Upper middle class takes the L.
They take the hit. Because broke's going to still be broke.
And nothing different.
Upper middle class gets hit. So the upper middle class is the one saying, you don't need to sit back and give in to Babylon. Forget this guy. Stick to your strength. Because they lose the greatest by this economic crunch. Because they have the land titles, the control of the vegetation. They make the money. Don't forget, you couldn't take people's lands in the farming territories. But in the cities, it was different. You can buy and sell in the city. So all the hustling and bustling and the finagling and all this and boardwalk purchasing, boardwalk and Park Place, that's what you want. Boardwalk, Park Place, Vermont Avenue.
Yeah.
From green to blue is what you want. You want that property. You don't want that Oriental Avenue lot. Remember Oriental Avenue? It's like the light blue. I didn't want that bullshit. They can't do nothing with Oriental Avenue. I want them top joints. They want to put hotels on there. That's where I make my money. Why am I saying that? Because Jerusalem was the hub of making all the money. But with these sanctions that were going to come, with Babylon coming, it affected the upper middle class, which was the princes. And they were the ones that were manipulating King Zedekiah to getting him to follow these false divinations and these false prophecies that we're about to talk about in a second.
I want to post the scripture real quick. You ain't got to go there. I'll go there right now. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33 says.
Let me read it.
Okay. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33.
God.
And then go to verse 17. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33, and then verse 17.
God. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33 reads, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor.
Now, if I'm upper class, if I don't have to labor, if I have laborers, read.
And all thy laborers shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Think about that aspect. If you're a laborer, then the people are already going to benefit off of your work anyway. You're used to people benefiting off your labor. I'm a low-skilled worker.
So the laborer already has to serve the upper elite men in the city. So whether it's upper elite men in the city or the Babylonian king, you're still serving.
I'm in the same dynamic. My dynamic doesn't change much. Mm-hmm. Maybe the accent changes. You might get a better...
Hold on. Yeah. Did y'all coordinate this, man? And didn't let me know, man? What's going on here, man?
Spirits is popping this morning.
Like white and gold. I didn't get the memo right. I'm sorry, man. That's messed up. Let's keep going. Everybody wore. We gonna wear white today, B. Get him wore out. He's gonna be out of luck. Yeah. Well, keep going. I'm sorry.
But you're just. It's like getting another job. You go to one job, the boss is a jerk. You go to another job, boss is a jerk. You're still working for peanuts.
For the man.
For the man. So when you're dealing with Israel, you're dealing with classism. You're dealing with a class system. When it came to Israel versus Israel, we're not dealing with skin color. We're dealing with what? I'm on this level, you're on this level. We can't even talk. We're not on the same. We're not on the same. We don't pay the same taxes.
Yeah.
Talk to me, bro.
Yeah.
Are we on?
Israel's heavy into that.
That's the real disease amongst our society.
Israel's into that. You go to Atlanta, it's heavy like that in Atlanta.
But ATL, bro. Listen, bro. I'm not gonna tell you one more testimony. Man, I'm at the zone out, zoning out. I'm a man of joy.
I'm a man of joy.
I'm giving the spirit of the world. I'm giving everybody. Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, you give them the spirit of.
Dolce Gabbana. Right.
Yeah.
And then people walk up, and I'm about to start dropping some spirit on them, some scriptures on them, and some spirit, or some counsel, whatever the spirit needs, right? And the first thing the brother does is look at my shoes. And he looks at my pants. You can see his eyes. He looks at my shirt. And I'm dressed decent. Bro. He said, "What kind of car you drive?" That's his first question. What kind of car you drive? And I'm like, I drive a Chrysler. Now, Chrysler's banging over here. Georgia, bro? A Honda Accord is a Mercedes. Mercedes is like a Honda Accord, bro. You see Mercedes like we see Hondas. Right? And then
That means Mercedes ain't all that out there.
it's not all there. Listen, a Benz is like average. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, bro, I'm talking to him. And his enthusiasm is depleting and declining, and he's deflating as the conversation's going. I'm just on hello. When I told him I drove like a Chrysler, I told him that's what he just said. No, man, I don't think I need to be here. I'll talk to you later, bro. And just walked off. I had all kind of spirit. I was mad. Listen, bro, I was mad at customers for a while over there. He's like, why are you mad at people? I'm like, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand. You can't get spirit to nobody. Their first question is, what kind of car you drive?
Yep.
So if you're understanding that's the culture, because this is a highly populated city, Southern Kingdom city, you gotta think about how we were in Israel, bro. That's a Hebrewism. That classism's still amongst us.
That's Cali too, man. That is LA. That is LA.
You don't have the resume to talk to me. It ain't about skin color. We do with white man. Oh, you can come out because I'm black. When you do with black people or brown people, you're just not on my socioeconomic level.
Listen, on that point, I got to put that verse. Not gonna pull it. Somebody else give me Hosea 4:7. On that point, and they'll let you finish your point. We got to get back on the topic. We have a lot of verses to go.
Come on.
Hosea 4:7.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 7. As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
As Israel increased,
God, bro.
the sins
That's
increased.
the one.
I know.
That's the one to pull.
As Israel's money got better out, their sin got worse.
Oh my God.
As Israel's money got stronger, their sin got worse. And I see that all the time.
It got harder, bro.
Yeah. You can't tell them nothing.
Wow.
Israel got more money out. You can't tell them nothing.
And Kanye West was right when he made that song. He said, "Nuh-uh, you can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money." That people felt that in their soul.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Wait, get my money. You can't tell me
I
nothing.
get rich. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. That's our people love that energy because that's what's in our soul. But that's in our soul.
Because I want to make people feel as bad as you make me feel.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to make you feel small because you made me feel small with your strong money.
Exactly. I had a dream that I could buy my way to heaven. I woke up and I was expecting on a necklace. I'm trying to stand on God. That's what he said.
Yeah, okay.
It's blasphemous, bro. I had a dream that I could buy my way to heaven. It's saying spiritually, I want to go to the kingdom. But in reality, I got too much money. I got too much money. I'm not focused on the kingdom. I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on me winning and gaining right now. That's why we had to serve the Babylonians. Because you're too into your kingdom, huh? There's no consequence for your negativity. There's no consequence for how you deal with your people on social level. There's no consequence for how you don't change and exchange yourself for the book. Keep reading.
Come, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Who gets affected the most? That negative upper middle class that has financial business and gains exchanged in the business form. Don't gotta change. Verse 17, I'm out of here.
Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store.
And for the little man, you ain't gonna have nothing. Your bank account's gonna be negative.
It's going to be a little bit less than what it already is.
It's be less than you had last time.
Yeah.
So everybody gets touched, but some get touched more than others. And so they had interest in attacking Jeremiah.
Listen, the college is going to be cheaper. It's going to be even more broke. Because remember we read earlier about how there was a female prophetess and she lived in the colleges of Jerusalem. That was like the damn what was that? What's the projects in San Antonio? A well-known project site.
Well, East Terrace.
East Terrace. This is East Terrace in San Antonio. It was Cabrini Greens up in Chicago.
Yeah.
There's different. The Fifth Ward. Whatever bad side of town.
Ninth Ward. Melpomene, Callio projects.
Yeah. That's what it was in Jerusalem. The College of Jerusalem. It was a lower part. It was where everybody that was broke was operating at. Then the elites got closer on the hill because Jerusalem, it was on a hill. So the higher you got up, the more money it was.
Yeah.
The lower it got, the more you was
high
broke.
off the hill.
Yeah. It's like in Cali. In Cali, it's always hotter in the hood. We used to sit back here and play near Compton. It was always hot. When you get to Manhattan Beach, it felt great. You play Manhattan Beach and Westchester. It was always comfortable out there. It feels better out here. I feel faster.
The air.
You go out here in the hood. It's hot. It's like, damn, I'm hot. I'm uncomfortable. What's going on here? I don't want to do anything right now. When you go out, you want to get coffee and you get close to the beach. Everything's better out. The breeze is better out. I don't know why it's like that, but it is hot. But you done with your verse, Zach? Okay, let's get back. We finished Jeremiah. I just want to show that picture again about them shackles that Jeremiah was going to have for 22 years rocking shackles. Talking about doom and gloom and how Israel was going to fall because they didn't want to serve the Most High. So now, we're going to now go to Jeremiah 28, verse 1 through 17.
Come. Jeremiah.
Let's get Karai because we're about to leave soon. I'm gonna get Karai through this one.
Karaya, Shashamata, Banashah, Banyashala.
Karai, Shashamata, Banashah, Banyashala. I'm much. Yahweh Shem Yashabakatam.
Yahweh Shem Yashabakatam.
I didn't put friends waiting. I got the friends.
Yeah, man.
I know, man.
We're a little slack.
Man. I was like, man, that's cool.
Oh, man.
But anyway, okay. I love them. So, Karai, let's get this 28-1.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 1. And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month.
I want to keep this in context. Jeremiah's been wearing these shackles for 15 years. Can you imagine that? 15 years wearing this wood on your neck. That is hell, bro. That's dedication. That is dedication. Wearing your burden for 15 plus years every day, teaching, getting clowned, getting disrespected, being the oddball, being the weirdo. This is what being a servant of the Most High entails. The disrespect, the smirking. Now listen, I think the disrespect was a little bit less at this point because Babylon already came in the 11th year and sent people away, and then came back 3 months later and sent more people away. So I think people mocked him less, but it's still 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's still another purge coming. So now he's like, these shackles are still on, and there's another purge coming soon. Change so you don't get taken also. Just want to keep things in context. Now read on. Now we read earlier in 27, how Jeremiah said, don't listen to these false prophets that are telling you that Babylon ain't going to come and take you over. Keep paying your every 3 years your lump sum of cash to the Babylonian Empire. He gave you 3 years to stack your money up and pay them in gold and silver. Read on.
Con. That Hananiah, the son of Azur, the prophet, which was of Gibeon, spake unto me in the house of the Most High.
So Gibeon was a city of Babylon. Of Benjamin. Benjamin. So this prophet was from Benjamin. Okay, read on.
Spake unto me in the house of the Most
So
High.
now, listen, paint the picture. Jeremiah's in the house of the Lord. He's in the court. He's in the court somewhere. Remember we explained last week, there's an outer court, then there's the inner court, and then there's the actual temple. So he's probably in the outer court, talking with people, teaching people. Jeremiah's prophesying doom and gloom. He's prophesying Israel got to change. And this Benjamin brother, who was a prophet, his name is Hananiah, he approaches Jeremiah in the house of the Lord. Read on.
Con. In the presence of the priests and all of the people.
Israel got to make it a show. I'm going to make sure everybody is watching and all eyes are on me. And I'm a front now. Read on.
Verse 2. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel.
Now he's saying, listen, the Spirit told me this.
Yep.
I'm Hananiah. The Spirit told me this. Read on.
I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon.
So now once again, Israel is always operating in this interpretive stance. I got to physically show you what the Lord is going to do in the Spirit.
Right.
You know why? Because Israel was still tapping into that spirit of magic. Remember we read last week that the essence of magic is to recreate in the flesh what was done in the spiritual realm. Mm-hmm. And that is what magic is.
To act it out.
To act it out. And this is what this guy Hananiah is doing. Yes, I'm going to act out what the Most High is going to do in the spirit in the physical to bring it to existence. Read on.
Within 2 years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of the Most High's house that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place and carried them to Babylon.
He's like, in 2 years, everything that Nebuchadnezzar took is coming back. And this guy's making stuff up like a mug. What's that?
Is that why it says in 2 Samuel that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft?
Well, no. What that verse is about is Most High looks at rebellion like he looks at a person who is which are a warlock.
Okay.
It's the same magnitude. The magnitude of sin is the same. Okay.
I'm just
so I'm stubborn. Yeah. He's going to judge a stubborn person like he judges a warlock. The same penalty. Because you still can't do nothing with either one.
Both are unbelieving.
That's the point. That's the point. So let's continue.
Verse 4. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah that went into Babylon, saith the Most High. For I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon.
That is a tall, quote-unquote, prophecy. Not only is Jeconiah coming back, but all the gold, all the silver, all the priestly items, all the captives are coming back in 2 years. Mark my words. Read on.
Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Most High.
Now, first, I want to make sure, go back to verse 2 again.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 2. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon.
So what do you think Hananiah did right there? He said words, but what did he do? What do you think he did? Anybody?
Well, he said opposite, right?
No, but what he did is, I just want to make sure I'm clear what he did. What he did was that he broke the yoke that was on Jeremiah's neck.
What?
Yes. Don't forget, Israel has to physically do what they're saying is going to happen in the spirit.
Oh, this aspect of that's that paganistic spirit.
I told you it was magic. It was an aspect of magic.
Wow.
So they sat back here. Hananiah actually broke the yoke. Physically broke the yoke that Jeremiah was rocking for 15 years straight. That's what happened. So now he's like, the yoke is broken. In 2 years, they're coming back. But he had to break the yoke in front of everybody to give people the false sense of security. Because by that time, everybody started seeing that Jeremiah's right, bro. This thing happened twice. We got taken out by Babylon twice.
Looking bad.
It's looking bad. Maybe we need to change. Whenever the people were in a mentality that we got to change, maybe things got to get better, maybe we got to repent to the Lord, some nigga, some knucklehead got to come in here and go opposite to take the people a different direction. Remember when the people read that writing that Jeremiah wrote, and it came from Baruch, and it was right at the same time that the Babylonians were in the land of Philistia, and Philistia was on fire. Gaza and certain cities were, I think Ashkelon was on fire, and they can see it. And they're like, man, they might be coming to us next. We might need to change. And when they found out Jeremiah wrote it, Jehoiakim said, man, burn this shit, man. Forget this, man. But the people, even the priests, were at the brink of possibly changing. Same thing here. When we sit back here, they were possibly willing to change when this guy in front of everybody breaks the yoke.
It's crazy, bro.
And all of a sudden, symbolically, they're saying, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. The Lord's going to bring everybody back. So let's not worry about what Jeremiah is doing. Let's blow off this man's prophecy. Because I broke those shackles that he's worn for 15 years. This is how wicked Israel was. It's that those shackles represented the fact that you still got to serve Babylon, stay in order, repent. And you break them, you're saying, man, you're free. You're free from that mental pressure. Yeah. Because you listen, what keeps Israel honest? The mental pressure that if you don't change, you about to get your life's going to fall apart.
Really?
That pressure keeps Israel on the straight and narrow. Because Israel, any given day, could go left and make some bad decisions. Yes, sir?
That's really impactful too. Isn't it like when they're trying to tear down these monuments that represent slavery? It's kind of like a similar kind of mindset. Like this, me tearing this down is like me tearing down the idea that this is the truth.
Or say for instance, if these white slave owners, those monuments are getting torn down, now it's the idea that we're not in slavery anymore. We're free.
That's the free concept.
We're free. We can live our life. Esau ain't the same anymore. We've moved on from this premise.
We're descended.
When we're really still economic slaves. But in this situation, breaking those shackles represents you're free to live your life now. The Most High has winked at everything in your life, and you're going to be okay. So go about living the life you're going to live. The Most High is going to restore everything back to you. That's what that symbolism shows. Okay? So, jump back to verse 5 again.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 5. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Most High.
In front of everybody. It was already broken. Everybody saw it broken. Now Jeremiah responds. Read on.
Even the prophet Jeremiah said, Aman.
Listen, that was so humble on Jeremiah's part. He got his shackle broken. Don't forget, people don't understand at this time, this was 15 years into this period of time where he was teaching. Jeremiah was 21 when Josiah was 20. Keep that in mind. When Josiah was 21, Jeremiah was 20. And that's when he was called into prophesying at 20 years old. Josiah died at around 39. So that means 18 years after when Josiah died, that means Jeremiah was 38 years old. So if you take 38 years and tack on 15 more years, because that's when you got the 11 for the 11 for Zedekiah, 11 for Jehoiakim, and the 5. I'm sorry, the 4 for Zedekiah. That's 15 plus 38. What's that?
53.
Mm-hmm. He's 53-year-old man walking around with shackles on his neck. That just brings another dynamic to it. He's an older man. This young prophet sits back here, snatches it, breaks the shackles off his neck, humiliates him in front of all the people out. And it was based off a lie and to get credit and status. It was all about getting status. And to be looked upon like he was the new man coming into power. He was a new prophet. 53-year-old man, he's getting embarrassed. He's already been embarrassed for damn 15 years already. Now he's in the middle of the temple doing his job, and somebody breaks the damn shackle in front of him. And now he says, amen. If that's what the Lord wants, cool. Yeah.
Did they break it off his neck?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
A costume or something?
I don't know how the hell they broke it. If it was axe, if it took some strong men, I have no idea. It's still a wooden damn shackle. So he's getting manhandled, embarrassed in front of everybody, mocked, pretty much saying your prophecy is lame, the Spirit's with me, and Jeremiah just took it with complete humility. He said, amen. If that's what the Lord wants and the Spirit worked through you to show you that message, cool.
That's we get a scripture on that too. Mark chapter 15, verse 29. Because that humiliation is set for anybody that's following after Christ. Everybody has to endure that. That's a believer, especially if you profess Christ. You got to feel that humiliation.
I know.
Is that 15:29?
Mark chapter 15, verse 29.
Mark chapter 15 and verse 29. And they that passed by railed on him.
It said when Yahushua was up on the cross, he said they that passed by did what?
Wagging their heads.
No, it said they did what? They railed on him. Get the definition of rail.
Mm-hmm.
They railed on him. What does it mean to be railed on?
We skip that word like it's just like a
R-A-I-L-E-D. They railed on him, but get the further definition. Railed on.
We want railed or rail?
Railed. Yeah, railed is fine too. Railed. They still say the same thing at the end.
Utter reproaches.
Con. The last definition of rail, R-A-I-L, says what?
Come on, y'all. To
utter reproaches.
To
use insolent, reproachful language.
To use
censure.
But it's certain language that people are going to use against you. People love to use language on you and to defame you with language. They love to demoralize you in speech. And this is what Jeremiah got to feel. This is what Christ is feeling right here while he's up being penalized for nothing. While he's being crucified innocently, he's being railed on by who? Read the scripture again.
Come. Mark chapter 15 and verse 29. And they that passed by railed on him.
Yeah, you're going to get railed on. That's part of the job when you serve the Most High. Getting talked about, whether it's in your face or behind your back, either one, it doesn't matter. People going to rail on you.
Ears going to be itching, bro.
People can't wait to say something negative about you, to tell you that you're fake and what you're doing is unrealistic, and that it's to counter what the Most High has you doing. There's always going to be defense, spiritual defense played on you when you're serving the Most High in Christ. Read.
It says, and they that passed by railed on him.
And so they didn't just look at him on the cross. They spoke all kind of crap about him while he was up there. They turned it into a comedy show. Read.
Wagging their heads.
And wagging their heads. When you wag your head at somebody, it's like what? Like, you damn fool. It's a shame. The joke is on you.
And listen, wearing some damn shackles for 22 years will bring that object of infamy even more enhanced.
Right. Look at this fool. Because that's what our people say.
He's an old fool. He's an old fool.
Look at this old fool right here. Look at this clown.
Kind of 53 years old, getting embarrassed like every damn day long for the Lord. That's real, man.
That's a real feeling. Read on.
Wagging their heads and saying,
Yep.
Look
at this guy. This guy right here with this up on his cross. I thought you was the man, homie.
Yeah.
Read.
Thou that destroyest the temple.
You said you were going to destroy the temple. Read.
And builded it in 3 days.
Go
He
ahead.
didn't say that, but that's
No,
what
he did. He did say it.
Yeah.
He did say he was going to destroy it in build it in 3 days.
Mhm.
But they didn't understand what he meant.
That's what I meant, but he didn't understand it wasn't physical.
Come, read.
Come, save thyself.
He said, "Now save yourself. You up there on that cross. You the man. I thought you was all powerful.
You had the power to sit back and do all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Now save yourself. Joke's on you. Read on
And come down from the cross.
and get yourself down.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Likewise, also the chief priest mocking.
And so it wasn't just the people that was mocking Christ. It's the chief priests.
That's crazy.
Because you know what? That's the temple is where they reside.
That's what they were doing in Jeremiah.
That's where they do their service. So the chief priest had something to say too. He said they also joined in on the party.
Yeah.
Read.
Said among themselves with the scribes. He saved others.
He saved others. Go ahead.
Himself he cannot save.
Go ahead.
Let Christ, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross.
He's supposed to be the king. He's supposed to be the king.
Mm-hmm.
Descend, come off the cross then. You're supposed to be the king, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
That we may see and believe.
He said that we may what?
See and believe.
See, so our people, until they're not going to believe it.
Yep. They seek a sign.
They require sight in order to believe.
Yep.
And so they're going to keep on mocking and keep on clowning you. Whether you got fringes on, whether you've been speaking, holding the Bible in your hand for 5 years, 10 years, they're going to clown you. Oh, you don't eat no pork. You don't eat no pork? Are you not a pork eater?
Yep. Oh, you think you're better than me?
I bet you if it was only pigs on the earth, I bet you would eat.
I was literally told that. I
bet you if pig was the last thing on the earth, you was on an island, you going to eat that pig.
Yep.
Or you going to die.
I was asked if you tripped and fell and your face and mouth hit a grabbed and touched the pork sandwich. What do you do then? It was in high school. It was some juvenile dumb stuff. But that's mocking ass Israelite.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I just thought about that when you said that. Yeah, I remember that.
That's how people operate. Until they see it, you're gonna keep getting clowned. Until they see it come to pass. Mm-hmm. That's part of Israel. That's part of our nature, our people's nature. You're gonna get clowned until they believe.
Yeah.
But until you show it to them, they ain't gonna believe it. They're gonna keep ridiculing you. You're gonna get railed on.
Yep.
Read on.
Come. And they that were crucified with him reviled him.
And even the ones next to him that was getting crucified still was clowning on him. One of the malefactors still clowning. He was getting clowned from every direction. Average Joes clowning him. The priests clowning him. The elite of society clowning him. And even the ones getting punished in the same condition clowning him. He get clowned from every direction.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 33. And when
That's it. Let that go. That's the whole point. Our people gonna clown you until they believe. Yeah, it ain't easy to convince our people, especially when it comes to change. They're not easily convinced.
So let's go from there, and let's get back to Jeremiah. And
Verse 6.
yes, let's go to verse 6.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 6. Even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen, the Most High do so. The Most High perform thy words, which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of the Most High's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place.
He said, I hope the Lord does perform these words that you're saying. That's a good thing. But he took it humbly. And you know what's crazy? What I like about how Jeremiah responded to this man Hananiah that sat back here and went through all this pomp and circumstance to break down the shackles. You know what he realized? He said, listen, man, if the Spirit showed you something and it didn't show me, cool. Jeremiah was humble enough to understand that it wasn't about him. He was humble enough to understand, you know what, man? The Spirit might not might have told this person this. Who am I to fight that? Who am I to fight what this man's message is? Let me fall back and let's see what happens.
He's flexible.
Because the truth is this. You know what? You have to wait till the end result before you judge a matter. You have to wait. You can't just sit back here. He could have easily, man, who the hell is you? The Lord's with me more than he with you. That's where pride kicks in. I know the Spirit's with me, and he's with me more than you. Who are you sitting back here thinking The Spirit's more into you than me. The only thing we can do, though, is if there's not an agreement on a direction that the Most High's got each and every individual, this is when people have to go do their thing separately. So, okay, Hananiah, if that's what the Spirit's showing you, you do it over there. I'll do what the Spirit had me do. And ultimately, who benefits? The people benefit. So it's about the people being benefited, not about my ego or his ego. Yeah. This was the right mindset Jeremiah had in dealing with somebody who's claiming that whatever the hell Jeremiah was doing was off. Let's read verse 7.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears and in the ears of all the people.
He said, nevertheless, keep this in mind about prophets and prophecy. Read on.
Verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Mm-hmm. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Most High have truly sent him.
And he said, listen, for years prophets have prophesied doom and gloom. That's been going on since before our time. He said, but the prophet that's prophesying peace, we're going to have to wait to see this peace before we believe it. And this is what he understood even about his prophecies. You got to wait to see if they're going to actually happen. So Jeremiah's prepared to say, okay, I'll wait 2 years. Let's wait 2 years and see if Babylon comes back. The Spirit ain't told me, but maybe it's the case. Jeremiah had to walk around here with some damn shackles for 11 years to take Jeremiah seriously. Am I right or wrong? Right. So he says, let things unfold down the line and we'll see what's what. Read on.
Verse 10. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and break it.
This is when he broke it. This is when he broke it. Because those words cut him. Those words cut him. Mm-hmm. He initially was just clowning him in front of everybody. But when Jeremiah said, hey man, if it's true, you still got to wait till it happens before you believe it. Then he sat back
because he's under the pressure now.
Yeah.
He's not just talking. People like to talk and they have no consequences directed towards them.
Yes.
People love that.
Yep.
But when the Most High says, okay, cool, you said something out your mouth, now you got to live by that, or you're under some type of check, some kind of physical reality.
So he's like, no, everybody, he said 2 years.
That's very uncomfortable.
If it don't happen in 2 years, then he's a false prophet. That's what he's saying.
Set himself up.
That's what he's being. That's what's being implied.
That's why I say amen. Amen means so be it.
God, if this is what it is, this is what it is. But you're on the hook though.
Yep. You're
on the hook in front of all these people. And then all of a sudden, Hananiah is even more vexed. Now he feels challenged.
Right.
Now I want to put hands on you.
Yeah.
Now I want to get physical. Man, listen, and you're getting physical with a 50-year-old man. Right. What glory is that? You manhandling a 50-year-old man acting like you the Don, huh? He's out there, bro. And he's out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting back here, I'm going to grab this yoke off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and I'm going to break it. Because I'm big and bad. I'm so zealous for God.
Yeah.
Right. He's trying to convince the people.
That's the point, huh?
Yeah.
And that's more of that magic that he's doing now.
It's more the magic, huh? He's initiating the intention. Now he's going through the physical manhandling of this guy's...
the demonstration.
Now it's a demonstration.
Yeah.
And if I demonstrate it, it's going to happen. Read on.
Verse 11. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Most High, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years.
Now he's doubling down. Now he's doubling down on it. What's that?
This is also like putting him in when Jeremiah said what he said, it put him in a position where he was made vulnerable. Like it was like exposing the vulnerability.
It's pressure. It's pressure. Okay. You're saying it's from the Lord. Then it better happen like you're saying it.
Yep.
You're on the clock now. You're on a 2-year clock. If it don't happen, and listen, the thing is this. The scripture says, if a prophet's message doesn't happen, you put him to death. That's another thing.
That's a false prophet.
You're a false prophet. So now he's on the hook, life and death wise. So now he's breaking shackles, and he's like, listen, I'm gonna break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar from the neck. Then he says, not only is Nebuchadnezzar going to send us our high holiday items or our temple items, he says all the nations around us are going to get liberated from Babylon. Read verse 11 again.
Con. Verse 11. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Most High, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years.
He says he's going to break Nebuchadnezzar from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. So now he's like, the prophecy that Jeremiah said 15 years ago is nullified. Because Jeremiah 27 said what? I'm sending shackles to all these neighboring countries. Babylon, Edom, Moab, Tyre and Zidon. All of you have to wear this neck brace. This prophet is like, all these guys don't have to wear any of these neck braces because in 2 years, they're going to fall. So now this prophet Hananiah is going directly against the word of the Heavenly Father. All Jeremiah says, okay.
It's conflicting statements.
Now, there's that doubt. Is the Most High true?
Yeah.
Is the Most High's word true? Which prophecy is correct? This is the question that everybody's asking. Okay? Let's continue.
And the prophet Jeremiah went his way.
He said, okay, cool. With a broken shackle, he just walked off. Why argue with this guy? If you got a guy that's hard-headed in his way, that sees things how he sees it, why argue with him? It goes back into that fight with IUIC and UPK. Why go through it? Why sit back here and throw hands on one another? Why fight? If you don't agree, and we don't agree, why do we got to prophesy at the same location? That's so stupid. Whoever's listening, it's stupid. You know what? There's plenty of cities, plenty of areas, plenty of blocks to teach. If one camp wants it so bad, then leave. There's plenty of people to teach, plenty of people to reach out to. Listen, if we're going to sit back and go on the scripture, what did Jeremiah do? Did Jeremiah send his goons to sit back and flex on Hananiah's goons?
Yeah.
That's dumb, huh? That's not spiritual.
Yeah.
What Jeremiah said, okay, this is what you want to push, let the Most High deal with this. The Most High will put this in order the way He sees fit. Why do I got to inject my hubris and my pride and my ego into this situation?
Right.
Why? It's all pride and ego.
Right.
Oh yeah, well, they came across this line first. Why was your eyes even there? And if you were there first and they came to start trouble, pack up and leave. Listen, there's no need to sit back here and escalate the situation to make Israel and the word of the Lord look bad.
Yeah.
Because that's already happened. These people, the word of the Lord lost that day.
And people, it would empower all these
Gainsayers.
these gainsayers.
These vocab Malone guys,
These-
this is the Israelites. This is how the Hebrews roll.
It empowers jerks that are anti the actual understanding of the scriptures.
Mm-hmm. That's the point. And even, you know what the crazy thing is? Jeremiah knew at this time that Hananiah's actions were affecting all the people at the temple. They saw it. He says, man, this guy is really jacking up the message that the Lord is trying to establish. But you know what? It's not my fight to fight. Let me back away and let the Most High come in and step in and put this thing in order. Y'all got to leave. You got to switch it up. Taiwan, I got you a little bit. What verse did you stop off at?
I stopped off at
12, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Tahom Racha, Shal Shabbatah, Ban Ashar, Ban Yasha'al.
Thawam Racha, Shosabata, Banashar, Banashar, and much. What? Yahweh Hashem Hashem.
Yahweh Hashem Shabbatam.
Yeah, so it's a very important thing to understand. Hananiah came in obviously in an antagonistic spirit, and Jeremiah didn't respond with further antagonistic responses.
Yeah.
He stayed humble. He made all he said is whoever's in the right, the Spirit will defend.
Yep.
Whoever's in the wrong, the Spirit will reveal that they're off. And he left it at that.
Because it's not personal at that point.
Because now it should be personal to the Most High.
Yep.
Not your ego, not your pride, not your image, not how you feel. Yep.
Was it because of all those years that just successfully removed all pride that Jeremiah had? All those years?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think
Like he didn't actually have that spirit, did he? Or
I think he did have pride at one time. Remember, remember when Jeremiah said, "Man, I forget teaching no more. I'm tired of dealing with teaching and losing and taking L's and these people disrespecting me." Remember that? Remember they had him in cuffs and they were thinking about killing him, and Shaphan, the scribe, kind of bailed him out, and he was just tired of being mocked and clowned for teaching the word. He had pride, and after that moment, it seems like he let that pride go. But it was in him still. He just understood at this time, you know what, man, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
And listen, you sat back here, shook me up. You think he calmly broke that damn shackle from his neck? You think that was a calm thing? Listen, I don't know if they beat him. I can't say they beat him. But I can tell you this. It was some kind of violence that it took to break those shackles. So now he got shook up. There was some violent interaction going on. Everybody's still looking. You know, once again, it's a world star moment.
Yeah.
How do our people act when there's conflict and yelling and back and forth? Everybody gathers around the crowd for the show.
They love it.
Yep.
They love it. They say, "Oh, it's Hananiah's time now. He's the new guy on the block. He's the new problem on the block."
Yeah.
And he gave us some good news. He heard about 2 years. It's going to be okay. We're going to be out of this captivity in 2 years. The Lord is real. Israel is looking for that good news.
Yeah.
Anybody that can bring it, you know, it was that 10 minutes of fame. He had some 10 minutes of fame,
Yep.
10 minutes of energy. Everybody's talking to him about the prophecy he got because it's good news. Jeremiah is shamed and embarrassed. The Most High's word and prophecy is shamed and embarrassed. But Jeremiah did everything he could to detach himself. And he said, "This is the word's message. It ain't about me. This ain't about me. It ain't about how I look. This is the words. This word of the Lord. Let the Most High sit back here and show the world what this guy's about.
What it is, yeah.
This is how we have to act." But see, Israel acts like it's about, I'm defending the Most High. You're defending your pride.
Yep.
Niggas threw their hands at that time we talked about earlier because of their pride and their image. It had nothing to do with the Spirit of the Lord. Because if they read the Bible, Most High told you to operate as Christ told us to operate like this. Back away and go teach somewhere else. Why sit back here and get in the fisticuffs? Whether we can sit back here and beat you down or not ain't the point. Anyway, I think we've driven that message in. A lot of things Israel does out of pride and ego and not from studying and understanding the scriptures.
That's why Christ told the disciples, if the household is not worthy, he says, shake the dust off your feet.
Come on.
You know, that's no different. You don't sit back and go back and forth. You don't want to hear you don't want to hear the kingdom coming. You don't want to hear the message that the kingdom of the Most High is coming on earth. If they don't want to hear it, he said, shake the dust off your feet and keep moving.
And if they want it so bad, let them have it. The funny thing is, if they ever did that, I bet you $1,000,000 those guys wouldn't have went back to that spot. Because it was about just an argument. Down the line, that spot would have been open again. He would have went and taught. And if it didn't, go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And may the Lord be with you.
Yep.
Anyway, from there, let's go to verse 13. Jeremiah 28:13.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 13. Go and tell Hananiah.
Matter of fact, give me verse 12.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 12.
So this is when Jeremiah got home, got himself together. Read on.
Then the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet, after that Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying,
Now the Most High starts talking to Jeremiah now. Read on.
Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast broken the yokes of wood, but thou shalt make for them yokes of iron.
He said, Thou shalt make for them yokes of iron. He says, now I'm going to double down and I'm going to put yokes of iron on you. It's going to be even that much more solid.
You ain't gonna break this yoke.
You ain't breaking this yoke, bro.
Most High upped the ante.
He solidified the prophecy even more.
Wow.
He said, it's going to be yokes of iron now. You want to sit back here and break wood? I'm going to sit back here and make yokes of iron.
Man. Oh my God.
So first of all, Jeremiah didn't wear yokes of iron now.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
The less it got worse. Jeremiah was in order. Now he had to wear iron yokes.
Most High turned it up.
I kept thinking about that black man that had like the yokes, the spikes on one side, and the yokes here in his hands
Come.
or on his neck.
The slave picture.
The slave picture, right? I don't have him, but that's what I thought about.
We got it in the pictures over there.
It's in the picture, but is that?
How do you get out of that kind of mindset where it's like, without putting blame on Hananiah, it's like, okay, now
Hananiah made my life worse.
Yeah.
How you not have a mindset like that?
You know what? That's what being a servant really is. I don't have an answer to that question. Listen, now I got to wear iron for the next. Listen, I got to wear iron for the next 7 years.
I'd be mad.
I'm wearing iron now.
That's the game of when one suffer, we all suffer. That's the game when one man's out the spirit.
Don't worry about it. If we can't find, don't worry about it, man. It's gonna take too long. But yeah, listen, now Moses, like, okay, he broke the yoke of iron. You gonna wear yokes of iron? I mean, he broke the yoke of wood. You gonna wear yokes of iron now to show that I'm doubling down on the stance I'm taking. I'm not giving you an out. Read it from the top, verse 13, bro.
Jeremiah
That's bad
chapter 28.
news.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 13. Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast broken the yokes of wood, but thou shalt make for them yokes of iron.
Now put on the yoke of iron on your neck, and you double down my message. But he's still waiting for the Most High to push the double down stance. Read on.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations.
So that means he must have sent the yoke of iron to all the nations that he sent the yoke of wood to. He was told now to send that yoke of iron to Edom, Moab, Tyre, and Zidon. We're going to double down on this stance.
How you send it?
I guess they had a courier service, man. They had get your horse. It's JPS, right? Jerusalem Postal Service, right? It's getting your horse to go down the street, man. You gotta think about it, ain't that far, right? Those cities could have been but 30, 40 minutes away. It wasn't far. Even they're talking about like the Gaza Strip, it's only like 35 miles north and south. That's a 30-minute drive. Or less. So that distance, the distance in Jerusalem is not that bad. So it's not that far of a distance out. So listen, Jeremiah sent the courier, JPS, man, sent these yokes of iron to all these kings out, and said, Most High is doubling down on this message. Hey, it's going to happen. Read on.
I have put a yoke of iron upon the necks of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. And they shall serve him. And I have given him the beasts of the field also.
Read on.
Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah, the prophet.
So now Jeremiah is saying to Hananiah, he said, I want you to send this message, both of these messages to Hananiah. Read on.
Hear now, Hananiah, the Lord hath not sent thee.
The Most High didn't send you as a prophet. The Most High didn't choose you as a prophet. The Most High didn't call you as a prophet. Read on.
But thou makest this people to trust in a lie.
Exactly. The problem the Most High had is you're pushing a doctrine that's opposite, and it's going to do the people more hurt than help. You're giving Israel that false sense of security.
They love that.
That is the death of our nation. Mm-hmm. That false sense of security to make them feel good, to take the foot off the gas, to make them say it's okay, you don't have to work as hard. Yes, is your the question? We're in Jeremiah 28
16.
and verse 16. No, verse 15 actually. But it is the fact that he making people trust in a lie, making them comfortable with this false idea of security that is the death of our people. Tell them you can just be as you are and relax and everything's going to be okay. Read on.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 16. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth.
That means I'm going to kill you, man. I'm going to cast you off the face of the earth. There's no place, there's no literal place on earth that you're going to be. You're going to be underground.
You ain't gonna be found, man.
You're going to be killed. Because you're sitting back here and spreading lies. And going against the direction and the lesson the Most High is given. So once again, the point is still, the Most High has to sit back here and defend us in these situations. It's not about what we want. It's not about us getting our own vengeance, is my point. Jeremiah could have sat back here and tried to defend himself. He faded back and let the Most High give him the direction, and he went back and told Hananiah everything that he needed to tell him. Read on.
Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year thou shalt die.
He said, you're going to die this year.
Get your
The same calendar year. Exactly. Get your will and your trust together.
Yeah. Figure out who you gonna hand stuff down to.
Bequeath what you got to bequeath to.
Yeah.
Read on.
Because thou hast taught rebellion against the Lord.
Wow. And this is something that for teachers, you got to make sure you don't give men license to sin, man. You can't give men license to go left, because that's when we get stung hard. But read on.
So Hananiah the prophet died.
Because the thing is this. He says he has taught rebellion against the Lord. How did he teach rebellion in this situation? How did Hananiah teach rebellion? Because all he said is in 2 years, everything's coming back to us. Where was the rebellion in that?
Teach him to get lax, thinking things are going to be okay.
And not dealing with accountability. The teaching was, now you don't have to be accountable and look at yourself and fix yourself from sinning. Because if everything's going to be brought back to normal in 2 years, that means our works earned us coming back.
Our effort was good enough.
Our effort was good enough, so now you don't have to change anything inside of you for the Most High to grant us a blessing.
Don't worry, everything's going to be all right.
That's the point.
That's in Jeremiah. We get that Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 11.
Okay?
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 11. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 11. Therefore I am full of the fury of the Lord. I am weary with withholding in.
Jump down to 14.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people.
This is why the Most High is angry, because the Most High is full of fury, because prophets lie and say, what? Read on.
They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
He said this is why the Most High is so angry.
Exactly.
Because you got prophets walking around saying everything's going to be okay.
Yep.
And everything's not going to be okay.
But the problem is when you're telling people everything is going to be okay, you give them a temporary comfort.
Yeah.
But the problem is with that temporary comfort, you take Israel off the hook from making long-term changes inside of them.
And also immediate changes. Because, if a lot of our people be on the verge of change. Yeah. And this is when, it's no different when you fishing a new brother or a new sister in the truth. As soon as you drop the seed of the truth and show them who they are, you always got a fake wannabe pastor, cigarette smoking pastor come by and say, you don't have to follow the laws. The laws are done away with. You know what I'm saying? Christ died so you can do what you want to do. You always got somebody coming against the word of the Most High, trying to take that seed out, the seed of the truth out of that individual.
Yep. And
so they feel like, you know what? I'm good. I don't got to make no changes. Christ take me as I am.
Exactly. I hate to take this off topic, but I remember watching I'm not gonna go there. It'll take too much off topic. But people are on the brink of change. A lot of times, the Most High will wreck people's lives and put them in situations and significant difficulties. And it will make people think, damn, if I serve the Lord, maybe the Most High is giving me a sign that I got to serve the Lord. Or I got to come back to the Lord and change my ways. And then when you sit back here and say, man, everything, you're good. Most High still loves you. He's still with you. Those are the times when you're sitting back here pushing the person away. Because you're giving them the spirit of peace, peace. You're giving them a peace, peace, peace answer. When the answer is yes, you're in this situation because you're not serving the Lord. You've been brought low because you got to come to Him. And we don't take those opportunities, those lessons, those times when you're stung and you're brought low. Consoling ain't the end. The consoling is in letting people know you got to come back and serve the Lord if you want to get out of your situation.
That's that spirit of enabling that lives in Israel.
And that is how we weaken people slightly. Or we give people a slight comfort. But in exchange for that slight comfort, you're destroying their spirit.
Yep. Because what you're telling them by saying peace, peace, is that they have time.
Yep.
And that, the Most High is not going to drop the hammer on you. You got time to change. And what we don't realize is that the Most High is stirring our life up because He's telling us you're about to run out of time.
I know.
And that's why the Most High is causing conflict and issues within our lives as a wake-up call. But what we'll do is hit the snooze button on somebody that's trying to get the wake-up call from the Most High by telling them that everything's going to be okay. And what we do, we put them back to sleep.
Yep.
They go right back to sleep doing what they were doing.
And what I mean by long-term solutions, there's certain things you can do quick fix solutions on. You can change like how you talk to people, or you can change little things in yourself. But there's also long-term familial demons you have with you. I don't know if you know this about yourself. There's certain things that you can do quick fixes on. And there's certain things I have real issue with my outlook. I have real issues with my perspective. I have real issues with lust, controlling lust, purity of thought, certain disciplines that I keep falling on and keep not being able to maintain. And there's certain scenarios where the Most High puts you in that can give you just enough strength and enough fear to keep you from falling back with these long-term issues you battle. But if your counselor pushes you to weakness at that time, you're just hurting the student. So the Most High is always against that peace talk because it always leads to watering down your spirit. I was actually going to I was thinking about going at on Monday, the same kind of concept, because it still is an issue. Our people love to be lied to because we lie to ourselves. We lie to ourselves because it's easier, it's comfortable, and it's harder to sit back and deal with these issues that feel like mountains. They feel like Mount Kilimanjaro sometimes to sit back here and overcome the shit in us. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, you ever saw like MI2 where just to hang out, just for fun, just for funsies? Yeah, Tom Cruise is sitting back here climbing mountains and shit out with no protection. He just going up and just gangstering it up out. You're like, man, this is a straight north and south damn climb, man. There's no way I'm doing this. You ever see those goats looking for damn salt out? Yeah. And these mountains are straight like this. It's like straight up 90-degree angles out. And these goats are just chilling like, how do you do it? First of all, how do you get up? And the second question is, how do you get down? How do you get down, bro? It ain't like they got the head to be like this and the turn like this out. They're just rolling out. How you gonna get down, out? Huh? But how do you look to go for the next groove? But you gotta look down. How you gonna get down? I get up. There's special grooves in the hoofs. But how do you get down? I don't know. Point is this. I'm explaining how hard it is sometimes to deal with your problems. And because it looks so hard, if a person gives you the out to quit, you're going to take it out. Because it's easier to take the out than to deal with these really significant issues that are seem insurmountable. And this is why the Most High has an issue with prophets that always say peace, peace. That's why. Because you're not going to be accountable. Because to sit back here for Israel to give up their idolatry, that's been in their family for 5 generations, it's going to take real dedication and work to break all these habits. And as they're working on breaking their habits, some guy says, man, listen, the war's over. Nebuchadnezzar's going to fall.
Why am I even doing
You're
this?
free. Then so if we're free, then why do I got to keep working on breaking what's inside of me? What for?
You know, because if there's no pressure, there's no change.
That's the point. So teaching peace takes away the pressure, takes away the responsibility, takes you off the hook. Yep.
We naturally look for peace.
No doubt.
God.
We naturally look for the easy way out. It takes the pressure off.
But you cannot notice it, right?
Huh?
You cannot notice it, I guess, right?
What do you mean can I notice it?
You cannot have a self-awareness that you may be looking for an easier route.
Don't forget. Listen. Don't forget. We have the luxury of constantly being in scriptures in class. For most people, do they do that? You think they did that back then? You think they were studying and reading and studying and reading back then? Kyle went in class 2 weeks ago that we weren't even sitting back here and doing the feast the Feast of Tabernacles until from the time of, I think it was Samuel?
Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua. We weren't doing the tabernacles from Joshua, since Joshua, all the way until rededicating ourselves back to the temple in around 516 BC. So if we were omitting the Feast of Tabernacles, how much more are we omitting? How about during Josiah's time, he said, oh, there's a book of the law in here. There's a whole Bible here. Listen, you think all those scrolls that the scribes were writing, you think they were available to the public? The history of David and Solomon and Proverbs and Psalms, you think they were available to everybody? No, they weren't reading them. So the people were literally subject to what the leaders and priests and prophets were teaching.
And the scriptures say iron sharpened iron.
Huh?
So you need something hard to go against your hard stubbornness. You need something to shave against the ideas that you tell yourself. You need somebody to stand in opposition to those ideas.
Huh?
You know, that's what we need. We need somebody to troubleshoot and to poke holes in our plans. Because if there's nobody troubleshooting your plans and your ideas, we'll go on thinking our plans are correct, our ideas are correct. You know, I've thought about every angle. I've already, dotted my I's, crossed my T's, and so on and so forth. I've already mapped it out. I troubleshooted it myself. So I already know what are pitfalls. But you got to have somebody that has foresight to be able to look at your plan and say, what is your action? What is your plan of action that you put together? Oh man, that's bogus. This is gonna fail. This is gonna fail. This is gonna fail. This might work, but that's a bad idea. This is not the time for that. You don't have this in order. So if you don't have somebody to sharpen you, then you're gonna fall by way of your own design.
And that is love. But people don't take that as love. People don't take the scrutiny and scrutinizing your actions with a fine-tooth comb as love. You know, brothers, you hating, you taking away my love, you taking away my passion. You're a tyrant of war. You're taking away what makes me bring about peace in my life.
You don't want to be happy.
You don't believe in me. You don't want my happiness.
Yeah.
That's the answers we get. But the scrutiny protects you from the fall. The scrutiny makes you work more on your lack of thoroughness, your lack of discipline. Whatever inside of you is keeping you from your blessing, the scrutiny helps protect you from that. When you don't love a person, you disagree with them. Cool, no problem, do it.
Have a good day, sir.
God.
Yeah.
If you see a war, like, okay, whatever, man, good for you. Whatever, that just be fun. That's a war wants to get out of here and get some snacks and go to lunch out. I'm just saying, okay, cool, whatever.
You don't want that. You don't want that,
right?
You can go to the mechanic and he can look at your problem and he can say, you know what, keep driving on it.
Yeah.
And then, or he'll tell you the truth and say, man, listen, if you drive this car anymore, it's gonna catch on fire.
Oh, this suspension is really bad.
Or you could take it and say, man, this man just wants some money.
Yeah.
Or you could say, you know what, maybe this guy's telling me the truth because it is gonna catch on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say that because a brother's driving a truck and I told him keep driving it. And he said, bro, I don't trust it. I said, well, what is it doing? He said, making a strange noise. I said, just keep driving it. And he got to the mechanic. The mechanic said, man, if you would have kept driving it, the wheel would have fell off. I'd have said, you know what? That's my fault. That's a bad call. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what? I'm used to driving cars till the wheels fall off. but not company cars. But you can take it either way. But something bad is going to happen, or you can say, you know what, this person just wants some money.
You know what scared me out was a report you told me about one of the. I'm not going to name the truck. He said, man, the base and the frame could actually come off. That scared the hell out of me. I said, man, are you serious? He said because of all the, he used to always go to Corpus.
Yeah.
The truck used to always go to Corpus, and the screws, because of the salt in the air, eroded the screws in the truck.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I was saying that
that's scary as hell. Like,
because the rust, because the ocean water erodes the rust. It makes the rust on cars happen faster, oxidizes the structure. So the box of the whole truck could fall over when you make a turn.
if the brothers are driving, we have a heavy load. Can we imagine
the box?
Truck is going like this, and the whole box rolls into like a building or a business
or in another car,
or kills a civilian.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, this could be the worst situation ever in history. And
right.
I'm like, bro, this isn't good. This isn't good at all.
It's not good. The whole point is you need somebody to troubleshoot your ideas, man.
God.
You need somebody to take a look at what you're doing in life.
God.
If you don't have that, your life is destined for a fall.
And that's the point.
So you can trust yourself, or you can trust another alternative vision telling you the truth.
And that's why the Most High says people that preach peace, 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 they're going to get destruction, because you're giving a person an okay not to dig deeper and be accountable to fix what's inside of them.
What we called it years ago, we called it co-signing weakness.
Yep.
We called it that, and we had a campaign against that for years.
Yes.
Because that's the spirit that breaks up households.
Because you know what isn't necessary when you sit back here and a person. I just want to make a person feel that a person needs a win. That's not true. A person needs the truth more than the temporary feel-good win. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to feel better, but what good is the temporary fix of feeling good when there's going to be more, you know what, down the line for not listening?
They get slammed.
And that's the point.
You know why? Because our people's ears are open only for a short time. And you got to be able to plant as much seeds and wisdom as possible while they're humble. And usually the humility happens after the fall. Pride go before a fall. So after the fall, they're open and they're humble just for a little bit. And then in that little bitty window, you got to plant as much as you can in that person's ear while they're willing to hear and while they're willing to listen, so that you can really prevent the further fall.
And that is the foolishness of teaching.
Yeah.
You're pretty much teaching blind ears. You're teaching Israel that does this.
Yeah.
And then for like 3 days.
Hey, I want to hear it. Like,
3 days.
I got to adjust now.
Hear. And then after 3 days, whoop.
Yep.
That's it. So you're teaching just deaf ears until these catastrophes come. Then Israel wants to listen. If the rib is about to leave, then they're listening. Then when everything is okay at home, I'm closed up again. This is Israel, I'm telling you.
We've seen it.
My brother's job was on the line.
Yeah.
They might have lost their job, but they were about to lose their job. I'm all ears.
All ears, man.
And then the job gets back restored, or they get a new job.
Now it's all.
Now I'm closed.
Yep.
That's Israel, bro.
Oh, everything's about to fall at the house.
I'm all ears.
All ears.
I want to listen. I'm taking notes. Now I'm taking notes.
Or health is bad. All ears.
Now I'm taking notes. But after things are better and I get a better diagnosis, I'm closed.
Yep.
So you better take advantage of that and not teach peace during those times. Anyway, let's continue. So, give me verse 16 and 17. In Jeremiah 29. Did you finish your verse?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Jeremiah.
Yeah. You good?
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 16. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year thou shalt die, because thou hast taught rebellion against the Lord. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year in the 7th month.
Now listen, he didn't die in 7 months. He died in the 7th month. This thing started, read verse 1.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month.
So listen, 5th month is when he started talking reckless. The 7th month was when he died.
That's 2 months.
So 60 days, man. He was out of here. Talking out of his head.
He became a sign for the people.
That was the sign, and most likely did it quickly. He did it quickly for the people that say, hey man, that was a bad sign. Hey, the slavery, the consequences are still coming. You better change. You know, the Most High killed him quick because he loved the Jews. He loved us, right? Listen, when the pressure is still on, keep changing if you want to be spared. You know, these classes on Saturday, these Sabbath classes are really, hopefully we understand how the Most High thinks as we're dissecting all this information. His love with us is based upon the pressure he keeps on us to change. Him keep applying that pressure is him actually giving a damn about us. Having Jeremiah sit back here and be uncomfortable. Now Jeremiah got a yoke of iron on his neck, bro.
More uncomfortable.
Listen, his servants got to suffer just so that Israel has that constant feeling of pressure on them. That's really what it is. They got to suffer so you feel pressure in hopes that you'll change. That is the formula.
Yep. Man.
He going to have this yoke on his neck. You know what got weight on it at? He's a 53-year-old man with a yoke of iron on his neck. You know his neck is on fire after he takes his damn thing off. His back is on fire.
You mad when police put the handcuffs too tight?
Yes.
Yeah, you mad about that, man? These cuffs are too tight. They digging in your skin, let alone iron.
Digging in your skin. That's my point. Iron in your neck.
I'm not gonna lie with what you're saying. Online, they have these Edomites that play video games all day, and they have headphones with the headphones that they listen to. And they're always gaming for hours a day, and then they have this thing where some of them just happen to shave their head, and they shaved their head and they looked up and they had an indention in their head. The headphones itself put a dent in their heads out. And they were tripping out. Like, a whole bunch of them started shaking their head like, oh my God. They were tripping out because they saw a line in their head, an indention, a physical indention in their skull because the body adapted to the weight of the headphones. What do you think happens when you're sitting here wearing metal yoke on your neck? Your body's having to adapt.
Oh, you're fine.
Listen, I was going to say this. Listen, I don't know if y'all going to the chiropractor lately or if you ever gone to the chiropractor or had your back scanned. And how you get older, your back starts to get what's the word?
Compress.
Your vertebrae compresses.
Yeah.
They start to like
Stenosis.
Well, scoliosis is one thing, but it's where the plates kind of like come together,
fuse,
and they fuse. That's where they fuse. God. You are losing circulation, the flexibility. I mean,
yeah.
Imagine that happens when you don't have yokes of wood and iron on your neck. It happens just with gravity. When your back starts to like get higher and start hunching over, that's based on your issues with your neck. Yeah. So can you imagine? You already had 15 years of wood shackles on. Now you're going to have metal now, iron, and you're 53? What kind of issues? Way worse than sciatica. Yes, sir?
I say it starts with arthritis.
Yes.
Arthritis starts to kick in, and boy, that's no joke.
Bro, you got arthritis, and they didn't have no Tylenol, you had no Motrin, Advil. You think they was popping Advils back then, huh? He was just thugging it out, huh? Yes, sis.
Are you saying that Most High allowed the yoke to be put on?
Yes.
For patients?
He told him to put it on there because Jeremiah made the decision to give his life up for him.
He put it on himself?
Yes. He told, if you go back to the beginning of the class when you get a chance, read chapter 27. Most High told him to put it on for 22 years. So, but the last 7 of these years, you're going to thug out and put a yoke of iron on top of it. And you're going to feel this, and your body is going to change. And you know what it is? Your quality of life is going to keep diminishing from me. So that you can show Israel the seriousness of my message. That's what serving the Most High is all about. You are going to physically be damaged so that the word can be delivered to who I want it to be delivered to, whether they hear or forbear.
Yep.
That don't even matter. You got to be that physical sign so that the world knows that somebody taught him. So, you know, if you can sit back here, the Most High don't even ask us to be in that type of situation. But you're going to have to lose in your way so that you can be an example to people, so at least they can choose if they're going to serve the Most High or not. This is the theme that the Most High continuously drives to us in our life.
Yep.
The Lord is a consuming fire. So, what does that mean? The closer you get to Him, the closer you say you want to serve Him, the more your life means nothing. So that the lives of others can benefit from you losing your life. Whether you're sitting back here having literal physical
maladies.
What's the word? Just deterioration.
Yep.
Your body deteriorates on its own.
For the work.
You get arthritis on its own. Just because you're getting older. This guy's situation just multiplied.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you think that wood was some cheap ass wood at? That was some heavy wood in itself that his body had to get accustomed to. But as it's getting accustomed to it, the deterioration comes. Then you got iron on top of this. The sores that come from that. What kind of sores is coming from this, huh? The skin irritation.
There's a chafing going on.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a hardening going on, a calcium going on.
Bro.
You can't even scratch.
Oh, you ain't. Listen, just to show Israel, hey, to change. Because words aren't enough.
Yep.
I was like, man, words ain't enough. You gotta sit back here and look the part. I need you to suffer for 22 years to show them what's about to happen to them. Whether it's this or Ezekiel we're about to read. To show Israel what's about to happen to them. Or you had Isaiah walking barefoot and naked 3 years in Ethiopia. I mean, he's in Ethiopia. Not even in Israel. To tell the Ethiopians they're going to fall. Yes.
How old was he when he put the wood yoke on him?
Okay, I will say this. We said it earlier in class. No. He started, don't forget, he started teaching the Bible when he was 20.
You said 28?
No, 20. He was 20.
No, you said
he was
38
when Josiah died. So I would say 39 was when he started having the yoke on his neck. The what one? So he had the yoke from 38, 39 until around 53. Then he's rocking the damn the iron one. Listen, 38 still a bad time to start having weight on your neck, huh? 38, boy, you past your 20s. You in your dirty 30s, huh? Your dirty 30s. 38, 30, that's the dirty 30s, huh? And you're suffering. And then you're 53 with iron. And just wait till we start talking about what happens when Jeremiah goes in jail. When he's 60. He was put in jail at 60. Getting a ration of bread. That's it. And we're going to explain those deplorable conditions later. But I just want to show the purpose of this class is just to show the beginning aspects of what teachers and prophets got to go through just to get Israel this sign that they need. Because Israel don't listen to just verses and Bible verses. They don't listen to wisdom. They need a sign. Niggas got to lose something to get them to learn, to be students. I'm telling you, this is a recurring cycle. I got to lose. I got to get shot. Niggas got to get shot, lose jobs, fall, women leave them, children get hurt. Then all of a sudden, I need the Lord. Am I right or wrong? You get teaching Bible verses all day long. They ain't listening.
Yep.
At council, we talk for hours. Talking doesn't matter. It's when you talk. When you deliver the message. When you've lost something, now you're listening. Now I have to teach. Because that's what we have to do. We have to teach like normal. But when you fall, that's the time that the word penetrates. Anyway, you got something else, I'm sure?
Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 33. Why does it got to be such an extreme nature for our people to finally start listening? Why does what the prophets have to go through have to be so extreme?
You said Ezekiel, sir?
No, Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 33.
Okay.
Jeremiah chapter 32 and verse 33.
Start verse 32.
Jeremiah chapter 32 and chapter 32 and verse 32.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Start 31.
Jeremiah
just read
chapter
that.
32 and verse 31.
Yes, sir.
For this city had been to me as a provocation of my anger.
He said to provoke the Most High to anger means to stir up the Most High's anger. He said this city always stirs my anger up. Read on.
And of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day.
He said from the very beginning, they always agitate and aggravate me. Read on.
That I should remove it from before my face.
Go ahead.
Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger.
Go ahead.
They, their kings.
It says they, the people, not only the people, the kings, who else?
Their princes.
The princes, the ruling elite. Go ahead.
Their priests.
The priests, all of them. Read on.
And their prophets.
And their prophets. Some of them false. Read on.
And the men of Judah.
Go ahead.
And the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
All of them. From the beginning, stir up the Most High's anger. Read on.
And they have turned unto me the back.
He said they turn unto me the what?
The back.
He says they give me their back. Meaning what? What does it mean when you turn your back on somebody?
I don't want to listen to it.
I'm rejecting what you're telling me. He said, but here's the confusion, or here's the foolishness of Israel. We turn our back on the Most High, which shows that we're going to go in an entirely different direction. But we do what? Read on.
And not the face.
But we look at the Lord
Yeah.
with our back turned.
That's
How
crazy,
do you?
bro.
What does it mean when you're talking to somebody? They're giving you their face and they're giving you their attention, but their bodies turned a whole different direction.
Because I'm giving you lip service.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit back here. I'm agreeing with you in front of your face.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying Khan. I'm agreeing. I mean, I'm giving you my attention, but my body's already halfway out the door.
Yeah.
That means I got 1 foot in,
One for that.
and I got 1 foot out. So our people live like that. Our people live with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Now, what's going to make the people finally turn their whole body to the Lord? That's the job of the prophets, is to try to convince the people. Don't just give the Most High your face. That means, okay, you read a couple scriptures, but your body is what you use to perform. But your performance is elsewhere.
Yep.
What you're dedicated to is elsewhere. You pretend to give the Most High your attention, but you have a whole other direction you're about to go. As soon as the Most High is not talking to you no more, you're about to, okay, you done yet? You done yet? Like when you're in a rush, you got to go, but you're halfway listening to somebody, and they're holding you up. You're like, look, man, I got to go. I got something to do.
Yep.
So can you finish what you're telling me so I can go do what I got to do?
Yep.
I got an appointment. I got deadlines. I got things I want to do in my life. So can you make this quick? Because I'm already out the door. That's how we live with the Most High. We're already out the door. As soon as you finish talking, Lord, I hear you, Lord. I know what you're saying. I got the verses. I wrote them down. Cool. But you know what? I'm about to go. But that's how we live. So what's going to make Israel say, okay, let me just give the Most High my whole heart. Let me give Israel my whole mind. Not just my lip service or face. I'm just giving them my face. Let me give them my whole direction, my whole body.
God.
That's why it has to be so. My whole mind and what I'm about to perform. Right. So this is why the conditions of the prophets got to be so extreme, because something has to turn our whole body around. Until that time, we're gonna live like this. I hear you, Lord, but I gotta go.
God.
I hear you, Lord, but hey, party starts at 9. You know what I'm saying? I already got the outfit. So I'm ready to hit it up. I got the outfit already. So you make this quick. Okay, yeah. You know you talk to somebody, they trying to rush. Yeah, okay, I got it.
And their eyes are like this.
Okay, they keep looking at their watch. Okay, you got it? Okay, yeah. Okay, you want me to, okay, I heard you, okay. Not a problem. Okay, got you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how people deal with the Lord.
Yeah.
We're quick to just finish. We're already halfway turned. We just giving the Most High a little bit of attention. And as soon as he's done talking, then we gone. We're about to do it. That's what makes the Most High so angry. Read that part one more time in 32.
Jeremiah 32 and verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
And they have turned unto me the back, and not the face.
It said not the face, meaning they give me their face. He said, but they don't give me their whole body. That's what we do. You know why? Because you can, that means I don't fully participate with the Lord. Because you got a lot of Bible readers, but you don't have a lot of participants.
And this is why the Most High was so heavy on these prophets that was giving them easy, peaceful solutions. Because he knew Israel's heart wasn't already into changing anyway.
It's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
So they're already looking for a reason not to change and make significant change in their life. So you can't tell a person that's looking for an out, you can't give them an out.
Nope.
Even when we're dealing with counsel with brothers and sisters now. If sisters are sitting there, certain sisters sometimes, they're upset with their husband. They're waiting and they're fishing for every word. I can say 1,000 words to say lock into your husband. But if there's 2 words that say, I don't know about what their brother's doing. See, he said, I don't know about what he's doing. So I'm going to discharge 1,000 words that say, man, you got to lock into your husband and go through the good and bad. If I say, I don't know why that don't make no sense. See, the prophet said it didn't make any sense. The prophet said my husband isn't making sense, so he's not making sense. And they will discard every other aspect of the counsel.
Yep.
That's why the Most High, I got to eliminate all these people that are, because Israel has itching ears. They're waiting for somebody to say what they're thinking.
They want a contrarian.
They want somebody to agree with them. So, and this is why you'll have brothers and sisters. They'll go to one counselor. They'll get stonewalled.
They don't like that.
Then they'll go to the other counselor. They'll get stonewalled. Then they'll find that weak link. This is why as teachers, there ought to be a solidified front. Not allowing a person to feed their weakness. Because of this, they've turned their back but not their face. They're looking for a person to say, well, I don't have to lock in. This is the issue. Well, I'm sorry, you got more something on that?
Read that.
Though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them.
He said, though I taught them, rising up early and what?
And teaching them.
So he said, I've been sending prophets to get them to give me their whole attention. Christ said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are what?
You.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but how come there's not a lot of laborers? Because we'll give the Most High our face, but we won't give him our whole body.
Huh?
We won't give all of us to the Most High, all of ourselves to the Most High. That's why I say there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but there ain't a lot of workers. So what the prophet's job is to try to create people to convince them to go all in with the Most High.
Yeah.
But read on. And this is how you know that we don't go all the way in with the Most High. Read on.
Yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction.
It said, but they have not hearkened to receive what?
Instruction.
Meaning they have their own instruction, which is what? Read on.
But they set their abominations in the house.
It said, but they still go back after listening to me, and they still go back and set their abominations where?
In the house.
So that means that I still have something that I want to serve other than the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
I still have something I want to do other than the Most High. That means my whole heart is not in the Most High. I still got something that I feel is more important than the Most High. That's me going and setting up my high place. I got my own direction. I got my own plans. I heard what the Lord had to say, but you know what? What I got going on at home is way more important. Read on.
Which is called by my name to defile it.
It said they defile my place. They defile my name. But by us having our own direction. Us having our own opinions. Read on.
And they built the high places of Baal.
And they built building the high place of Baal is just serving something that I choose to serve that's more important. It's my imagination.
I'm not serving Baal. You tripping.
When you serving Baal, you serve yourself. And that's what we'd rather do than serve the Most High. And that's what makes the Most High so angry. Something has to be extreme. And unfortunately, it's the conditions of the prophets. It has to be so extreme as to get us all involved. There has to be some shock value to it. Otherwise, we won't. And matter of fact, if you can get this right quick. It is in go to 2 Samuel. Let me see. Let me see it real quick. It's 1 Samuel. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Let me see. First Kings, I'm sorry, chapter 18, verse 21. First Kings 18 and 21.
1 Kings 8:21.
18 and 21. First
Yes, sir.
Kings chapter 18 and verse 21. First Kings chapter 18 and verse 21. And Elijah came unto all the people. and said,
Elijah's a prophet. Read on.
How long halt ye between two opinions?
He said, so what is the prophet's message to the people?
How long halt ye between two opinions?
He says, how long are you going to live between what?
Two opinions.
That's our people. Our people live between two opinions. And that's why the prophet had to ask that question. How long are we going to have two opinions? Because there is an opinion that the Most High is the Lord. He's the Lord and I shall follow him. But, like Dawiyah brought out last night, there's another opinion. There's my own opinion. There's another wisdom.
Yep.
Which is what? My wisdom.
Yep.
It's my opinion. And that's why the Most High, he's always trying to figure out how long are we're going to be on the verge of serving him and serving ourselves. We live in that middle period. We live in that gray area of serving the Lord and serving ourselves. And the question he asking is, how long are you going to live like that?
Yep.
How long are you going to be on the verge of just saying, okay, I'm going all in with the Lord, but I won't go all in with my life because I don't want to look like an unbeliever. But I'll be lukewarm. Exactly. We live in that gray area.
Yep.
Read on.
If the Lord be the Most High, follow him.
It said, if the Lord be the Most High, if he's all powerful, then follow the Lord. Why play with 1 foot in and 1 foot out with the Most High? That's where our people live at. Read on.
But if Baal, then follow him.
It's more respectable if you just make a decision.
Yep.
But if you want to follow Baal, then
Follow him.
go after Baal.
But the funny thing was what they said. Their response was even worse. Watch their response. Keep going.
And the people answered him not a
You know why the people didn't answer him? Because they were still undecided. They still didn't make a choice. They're like, what to do, man, Lord, I don't know. This is so hard.
Yeah.
This choice is so hard to make.
Yeah.
This is why they didn't answer.
But I see how both could benefit.
Exactly.
Because you know how people weigh the options out.
That's why they're sitting back here doing this.
I gotta weigh the options.
And you know what the problem is? The options, they couldn't be weighed.
No.
They were Bill, God. It's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up.
Lose this one.
And that's why they didn't respond.
Lose this with God.
It's a draw.
They're like, it's a toss-up, a draw. I don't know. That's why nobody said anything.
We're gonna end with a tie, man. Well,
It's crazy.
50-50.
Even if it's 60-40, that's horrible.
Yeah.
For you even making a 60-40 choice. Anyway.
That was it.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is, because we're running low on time, I got to go on. No, there's more class. I'm kind of having to jump some parts. Let's go to Ezekiel 11. Should we do that? Or we should just teach it, man. I don't know.
How are we gonna go, bro? We gonna roll. Let's just roll from where we at, bro.
You gonna roll, man?
It's still 9 o'clock at night. We don't care, man.
Well, I guess I'm just like, man, we're gonna have to. We started late, but I'm just thinking about Let's do it. Let's read Ezekiel 11, verse 1 through 25. We have a lot, man. We haven't even got to Ezekiel and all the things Ezekiel to go through, man.
Ezekiel 11, 1 through 5, right?
You said what?
I want to hear the flow of the class.
Yeah, so I'm like, the problem is if I go into, I was gonna go Jeremiah 23, but that's gonna take it all a whole other place. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go to Ezekiel 11. We'll go there first and see where this thing goes. Ezekiel 11, verse 1 to 25. Let's do it.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 1. Moreover, the Spirit lifted me up and brought me unto the east gate of the Lord's house.
So once again, if you're starting to see the theme, the Most High is delivering the messages of what's going on in Jerusalem by the angel taking Ezekiel back to Jerusalem so he can report the information to the Jews that are operating in Babylon. So the Jews in Babylon could kind of get an idea of the deterioration of the nation in Jerusalem. So Ezekiel is being shown what's happening by being constantly taken back and forth by the angel to see what's happening in the gates of Israel. Okay? Read it from the top again.
Moreover, the Spirit lifted me up and brought me unto the east gate of the Lord's house, which looketh eastward.
Okay.
And behold, at the door of the gate, 25 men.
Remember those 25 men we read about that were worshiping the sun?
It was 70.
No, it was 25.
25?
It was 25 that was worshiping the sun facing the east.
It was 70 that was in the smokehouse.
Yeah. It was 70 in the smokehouse, and it was 25 that was on that. I'm gonna read it real quick. Ezekiel 8 and 16. Read that real quick.
Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 16.
It was 70 that was pouring it up and sipping it up and smoking it up.
Yeah.
But there was 25 that was even more of the elites and the princes that were all right in the temple serving the sun. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar.
Between the porch and the altar, the porch is what leads you into the actual temple, and the altar was to the east of it. Read on.
Were about 25 men.
There was 25 men. Read on.
With their backs towards the temple of the Lord.
That was symbolic for them having their backs towards the Lord, looking east. Read on.
And their faces toward the east.
Yep.
And they worshiped the sun toward the east.
So these 25 men, these same 25 men that were worshiping the sun towards the east, we're reading about these 25 men in Ezekiel 11. Started from the get 11. Ezekiel 11. Verse 1.
Ezekiel 11, chapter 1. Chapter 11, verse 1. Moreover, the Spirit lifted me up and brought me unto the east gate of the Lord's house, which looketh eastward. And behold, at the door of the gate, 25 men, among whom I saw Jaazaniah, the son of Azur.
It's funny, he's busting guys out at. He's not just saying there's 25 guys. Like, man, this Jaazaniah was there, Hezekiah's there, something is there. He's pointing, he's busting guys out. But the reason they're bringing out, let's keep going. It goes, I saw Jaazaniah, read on, the son of Azur, read on.
And Pelatiah, the son of Benaniah, the princes of the people.
If I'm not mistaken, that Jaazaniah in Ezekiel 8 was the only son of Shaphan that went left. And that's why they keep bringing, it's exactly, because in verse 11 in Ezekiel 8, it says Jaazaniah, the son of Shaphan, had the censer in his hand. That Jaazaniah was the son of Shaphan. The other sons of Shaphan were good men that served the Lord. And the majority of the sons of Shaphan got sent out to Babylon. He was the only one that stayed. He was one of those evil figs. Okay, read on.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 2.
So these were the prince of the people and that scribe were there. Read on.
Then said he unto me, Son of man, these are the men that devise mischief and give wicked counsel in this city.
He says, these are the crime bosses. This is the syndicate. These are the guys that were in control of corrupting and breaking down the city. They were sun worshippers, and on top of being sun worshippers, they were the ones who had the whole city on lock. They had the economic power. They had the sway of the king. They ran the country. Read on.
Which say, it is not near.
Meaning the fall isn't near. The collapse isn't near.
Wow, it's not near.
And now listen, the collapse isn't near. We are safe.
Wow.
Babylon is not going to take us over. But these are the guys that you read later on were in King Zedekiah's head, assuring him, listen, man, it's not going to go down like Jeremiah is saying. It's not going to go down like the prophecy is saying. Read on.
Let us build houses.
Let's make this money. Yep. I got an apartment complex I'm trying to build up, man. I got a complex over here in Southtown. I got projects going on. I got money to make. I got a Starbucks I got to build up. I got what's that other coffee house that's built like they built like 10 in like in like 3 months.
On the ground.
No, you
Dutch,
can't.
they got Dutch in them Dutch coffee. Like there's 1,000 Dutch brothers now. This came out of nowhere. Have you noticed it? It was no Dutch brothers, and all of a sudden there's 10. Yeah, it's a coffee shop. And all of a sudden they just built them up. Boom, 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 boom. It was like a mass calculated planned move. They did it years ago with Carl's Jr. All of a sudden there was no Carl's Jr. Then there was 5. Like damn, y'all had the strong money to pull this off, right? You bought the land, you did the construction, you just built it like this.
That was like QT.
That's my point. Same thing with QT. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I remember QT up here was this busted old Chevron and nobody went to. And all of a sudden, boom, QT over here, over there. I'm like, man, they got strong. That's $1 million here, 2 million here, 3 million here. I'm like, damn, this is strong money to do this. Anyway, this is what the princes are saying here. I got construction processes here. I got money to make. I got houses to build. It's time to get paid. Let's not stress about the end being near. Let's push forward. Let's build. Let's keep the economy going.
Yeah.
This is what Esau's saying now.
Yeah.
Let's print more money. Let's keep building. Let's act like nothing's going to happen until it completely collapses. Let's not operate with conservative spending and being frugal and saving. Let's push like business is normal because they were about their money, right? So read verse 3 from the top.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 3, which say, it is not near.
The destruction isn't near. Read on.
Let us build houses.
Let's make this money. Read on.
This city is the cauldron.
This city is the cauldron. What is a cauldron? It's a pot. It's one of those heavy, not aluminum, but those black cast iron pots. The cauldron represents protection.
Oh my God, yeah.
This cauldron, Jerusalem is protected. The city is protected. These walls are impenetrable.
Yeah.
Babylon can't break us even if they wanted to.
Oh my.
We are protected. It's not near. Our fall isn't near. We're not going to let this prophet of doom jack our construction deals, our business proposals. The city is a cauldron. Read on.
And we be the flesh.
And we're the flesh. We're protected inside this cauldron. This meat, us, the people, are protected inside the cauldron. Let's not stress out.
They soothe the people.
But this was a meeting between themselves. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Later on, it disseminated to the people.
Okay.
You're right about that. But they're talking about how to keep everybody under control.
But Ezekiel was able to be transported
in their councils.
into the council like a spy to spy out what they were talking
And
about.
that's the point. And he's in the middle of their councils and talking about how they're going to sit back here and come up with these new plans for construction, for development. We're going to move forward, business as usual. Let's not worry about all these councils and Jeremiah's with these goddamn iron shackles. Forget this dude, It's like Mr. F. Kane,
Yeah.
Forget Kane. Forget this dude. We're going to sit back and keep building as usual.
We're going to hustle to the world.
We're going to hustle.
Yeah,
That's exactly. This is the truth. So now, read verse 3 again.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 3, which say, it is not near.
I got to take
Let us build houses. This city is the cauldron, and we be the flesh.
We're the flesh. We're protected inside the cauldron. Okay, let me read Matthew Henry real quick about this. It's page 1045. It said, these are men that devise mischief. Under pretense of public safety, they harden people in their sins. And this is what we were talking about earlier. When we sit back and teach safety, the walls are fortified, everything's going to be okay, it is a pretense that hardens people in their negative. If you tell people that we're susceptible to collapse, people are more inclined to change. When you tell people there's safety, the walls will protect us, you're telling people to keep sinning.
Yeah.
But what advantage is it of yours to tell the people the truth?
I'm going to keep making money. You're going to keep spending money. You're going to spend money. I'm going to make money. And I'm going to use this commerce for me to keep getting leverage over the people in the city.
Let's keep coming.
We talked about it earlier. The people who lose out of serving the king of Babylon are the elites and the princes. They lose their money. The workers are still going to be hired at a certain wage. But you can't make money. The middle and upper class can't make money during recessions. Or it's harder to. So they're going to keep spending money, making money, using people, using leverage over people until this whole thing collapses. Okay? So it says, these are the men that devise mischief under pretense of public safety. They harden people in their sins and take off their fear of the Most High's judgments threatened by the prophets. They give wicked counsel in this city, counseling them to silence the prophets, to rebel against the king of Babylon, and to resolve upon holding out to the last extremity. They are indicted for words spoken at their council board. They said to this effect, "It is not near the destruction of our city so often threatened by the prophets, where Satan cannot persuade men to look upon the judgment to come as a thing doubtful and uncertain.
Come.
Yet he gains his point by persuading them to look upon it as a thing at a distance." What they're saying is the way Satan operates is, if I can't get you to, I can corrupt you by convincing you that it's going to take a long time before something bad happens to you. You read that in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, it says, because sentence isn't executed speedily. Read it. Let's read
It
it.
is fully set in the heart of man.
And this is how Satan operates and keeps us weak and keeps us corrupted.
Jeremiah 8 and 11, is that what it is?
No, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Mm-hmm. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Yes, read that really quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11.
Yep.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
And that's how evil is manifested and sustained, because you remove urgency from the equation. And this is how Satan can maintain power over men. Yes.
So that's one of the key elements of propaganda.
Well, yeah, propaganda. I'm just
Attract
on,
the people.
yeah, but I'm just on a spiritual level.
Well, yeah, I got that.
On a spiritual level, if I can sit back here and convince a person that they have more time to change, then they're less apt to change.
Right.
When you're convincing people through scriptures and counsel that the end or the fall or the sting is coming soon, a person is more inclined to change sooner. So what he's saying is Satan was working through these people, these princes, these 25 princes, by getting them to convince the people that you got more time. The end isn't close. The fall isn't happening for a long time, so let's not stress out about the inevitability of it. And that's how Satan inspired people to stay weak. That's how we keep people weak, by convincing people that they have more time than they actually have. Okay? Then it says, if the destruction is not near, they conclude, let us build houses. Let us count upon a continuance. For this city is the cauldron and we are the flesh. This seems to be a proverbial expression signifying we are as safe in this city as flesh in a boiling pot. And if I got some meat in the boiling pot, I ain't going nowhere. It's protected. It's safe. Because I'm going to eat that later. It's going to be okay. We are as safe as this meat in the pot.
These hardened walls is my
are going to make us as
though I eat
safe
flesh.
as this cauldron and meat is in this pot that I'm about to cook and eat. Okay? It brings comfort. It is a comforting thought. I got some meat in my pot. It's already conquered. Already killed it. It's mine. There's comfort there. Just like there was a comfort they were trying to teach that we're secluded and protected by these walls. Okay? So, it says, this seems to be a proverbial expression signifying we are as safe in this city as flesh in a boiling pot. The walls of the city shall be to us as walls of brass and shall receive no more damage from the besiegers about it than the cauldron does from the fire under it. Perhaps it was in reference. Anyway, that's all I want from there. It's just a vote of confidence. Why is Why do you think it was necessary for that vote of confidence? Because people were still shook about what happened and with the events of Babylon conquering them 5 to 7 years prior to this. Okay? So this was like a campaign. Now we go into the propaganda. This is a campaign to reestablish consumer spending.
Yep.
Because when people are sitting back here and stressed out, people stop spending money.
Get tight.
They start hoarding.
Tight for
They start sitting back here taking extra foods and supplies and stacking it in threats of another besieging. But they're like, listen, stop stacking grain and this and getting ready for another conquering. Spend money freely. This is going to be okay. This is like a campaign that these princes are on to try to bring about reassurance so they can keep making money.
Yep.
This is what's happening here in America.
Yeah, like you said, it's confidence in the budget. It's confidence in the economy of the society. And that, like you said it perfectly. It's the reassured consumer spending.
Because this is what, listen, spending in America and the United States is all based upon consumer what?
confidence.
Consumer confidence. If consumers feel comfortable about the economy and about what's going on with the country, they spend more.
This is how they set the tone for the year. When they see how Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas sales,
They do projections.
They go off these numbers to determine how strong the economy is. Spending was up for this holiday. Spending was up during this season. So therefore, you should be reassured that this is the time to go out and buy new. If you want to trade in vehicles, if you want to buy new homes, it's time to upgrade.
This is even what forecasters do for like Walmart and all these major companies. They say, well, because we're bringing in this line and this type of product, we expect in the next 2 quarters there's going to be a rise in 15%. And when they sit back and make these fake fancy numbers and fancy projections, and they put it out in the market, the stock market rises off the projections. And then if they don't hit their numbers, the stock market or their stock starts to decline.
It's called futures.
It rises based off the predictions that the companies say that the business is going to get to. And when certain people hear that this is going to be an uptick by 14-15%, they spend money in that stock market thinking it's going to sit back and rise up. But if it doesn't hit those numbers, these speculations, they take their money out. That's the game. It's all a hustle. All the business and markets today is based off of the idea that they're going to make money.
And the term.
And you're hedging your bets off of, do I believe what they're saying? Or are they just capping to get more money into the situation? That's why the market is so volatile. Because you really don't know.
And they have a term. They say lambs get slaughtered.
Yep.
The simpletons.
Yeah.
The Joes, the dentists with this practice.
You know why? Because you got $5,000, and you're putting your whole life into this one play.
That's all I got.
Listen, the big dogs are throwing 30,000 here, 40,000 here, 20 here, 15 here, 100 here. So they're hedging their bets across the board. So if one arena of them falls, the other ones pick you up. Yep. When you're average Joe, right? You got 5,000. What am I doing with this $5,000? I got to flip it to 25. If not, I ain't gonna. My whole house. I'm gonna lose my house.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
No, and they say lambs get slaughtered or sheep.
You know what I mean? Little ass money cats get slaughtered. You got little money, you gonna get smashed.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's why the game is to push fake confidence because the sheep are always uninformed. They're always, CNN said this.
Yep.
This guy Berkshire Hathaway said this.
Who's the guy that's always on TV, man? He's
Warren Buffett.
Nah, man, it's like
Kramer.
Yes,
that guy.
His name was Jeff Kramer.
Yeah, he always has a whole. He's like Jewish guy, bald, suspenders on. He's always.
There is literally on Twitter. They say there is a fake Kramer account on Twitter, and it says whatever he says, you go opposite. It's
the truth, though.
They say whatever he says, you go opposite and hedge opposite because he always says the wrong prediction.
Because his job is to pull in the sheep. The sheep. He's a sheep puller.
Yep.
People gravitate towards him and towards his energy.
But people know the market. They say whatever he says, go hedge opposite.
Yeah.
And you'll make money. It's crazy,
But his job is to get you to buy in. Esau's job is to get you to buy in.
Fear.
Yes.
That push that
or
fear.
Greed. Fear or greed.
They'll say, you know what, Sell your Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency's being, about to be investigated by SEC.
But now the whole country's about to go to Bitcoin where the dollar collapses.
Exactly. So they get you out of it. So you sell yours, then they scoop
and they buy more.
They scoop it up dirt cheap.
That's how they corner the market.
Yes, with fake futures, and then some of it's true. They'll throw a little bit of truth and a little bad, so you don't know which one to follow.
Confusion makes money.
But you got to create the idea of false confidence. But if it's false confidence, people will spend. Yeah. Once you create the false confidence, then you create the different pathways to take your false confidence.
You got all this doom. Look at your email. You get all these doomsday emails all the time. It's always doomsday. Yeah. You're like, they try to get you to sell. They're we push the doomsday email. Like, oh my God! You look up, sale. I'm like, oh man, we won.
I'm gonna buy your shares dirt cheap. We know because you know all the people that make money, they actually have access to insider trading.
Of course.
Yep.
But that's what they don't tell you. Listen, the people know what's about to happen before it happens. They're the ones that make money. Everybody else is guessing. The real people aren't making guesses.
Right.
They know what's about to happen before it happens.
They're on board. They're on the board.
They're on the board. All of these
They're the board of directors.
All these senators, they make money. Listen, I saw this thing online. They said Biden and the vice president, they came in like at a certain portfolio, financial wise. They said like not Pamela. What's her name?
Nancy Pelosi.
No. She's dumb.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. They said her net worth was like $8 million before she got in office. Now she's like 25, 30 million.
Okay, she knows what's up.
But that's the point. You get in. And they start giving you game and angles to make money because they know they're about to take the country.
Right. That's like when Bush and Cheney was owning Halliburton. Because they knew they had the overseas oil contracts and the oil drilling in Saudi Arabia.
Let's make this money.
Making money.
Like you said, but they don't. This is what they do, and this is how they hide it. The money doesn't go directly to them; it goes to their sons.
Yep.
Do you realize that Nancy Pelosi's son is on the board of the Taiwanese? Chip manufacturing company, which is the top end, the number one chip manufacturing company in the world. Her son is on the board. So you know what happens? The son gets the money, funnels it back to mama, and he takes a portion of it. That's what was happening with Hunter Biden in the Ukraine. They got Hunter Biden on tape saying, I got to get the big guy his cut. Well, of course, you got to get the big guy his cut. Who's the big guy? Listen, it's Hunter Biden's company on paper, but you're giving Daddy 75%. You keep your 25% cut.
And he's on
because without the big guy's connections, you can't get in.
Huh?
And it's who also is Hunter Biden's out there in Ukraine, and it's also not
in China too. He has Chinese
in China too. But there's a couple other parents of the kids of these senators. They're out here running the business for their parents. But the money's got to get funneled through the kids so it doesn't come back to them. And that's how you launder money. That's laundering money 101 for the white man. That's how he keeps his money.
That's why the mafia was always.
And then they funnel the money, once it gets to the kids, into the charitable family foundation.
And trust.
And trust and it's a foundation. Yep. The foundations can't be taxed. I don't know if you know that. You put money, but listen, this is how they do it. They'll put the money into the family foundation and then borrow off the money in the family foundation.
Yep.
So you don't get taxed. So now I got $1 million. You put $5 million in your family foundation. You don't get taxed by the IRS, but I can pull money from it. I just got to get a loan.
You can make purchases.
And it's borrowed off of the money that's in the trust.
And they're running.
Of course. Well, it's the family trust is.
That's why they do it. I'm saying.
That's my point. That's the game. That's how money is laundered.
And you don't have to report the trust
because it is non-taxable money.
And you control which charitable donations you want to make.
Well, but listen, the family foundation for the family.
Right.
The family foundation is for the family.
Then you put a non-profit.
That's what it is. It is a non-profit family foundation that can't be taxed. And I don't got to pull the money out. If you pull it out, you get taxed. But you can borrow off of it.
Right.
Now I got money. I can borrow off this to do other ventures, other moves, and I can buy property off the loan. I'm getting off the real money. That's right here.
And when you make a donation, you can claim it on your taxes.
And then you get a double win. Yep. This is how they launder the money, and this is how the senators. Dianne Feinstein just died. You know how rich she was? Dianne Feinstein. Yeah, Feinstein. She's been in politics. She's like 95, bro. She been in the game when I was a kid. She was in the game as a senator in Cali. She's a multi-millionaire. The little chump change they get from their senator jobs is nothing. It's laughable.
Open the door.
It's laughable.
Lunch money.
It's lunch money to do the big deals
That's right.
to make the real money. Like I said, the game is right out there for everybody to see.
Which is why Trump didn't take. He didn't take any money.
He took Trump. He took
the tax write-offs.
Okay.
Yeah, because he told Miss Clinton. He said, "Listen, it makes me smart that I take advantage of these tax cuts." She said, "You and all your friends take advantage of these."
That's
tax
the
cuts.
point. They're all doing it. Trump's doing it too.
Yeah.
They all do it. It's funny. They're arguing with each other in these debates, and everybody after the debate, they're sitting back having lunch with each other down the street hanging out, smiling and chilling, and they're just playing aside. You have to play for the conservatives. You play for the liberals. But we're all hanging out afterwards and playing golf together.
Wrestling, bro.
That's what it is. It is wrestling. You got to play the heel. So you play the heel. You're Sergeant Slaughter. You're the good guy, and you're the. Remember back in the '80s, man. The guy who made so much money was the guy that was pushing like Iran. What was that guy's name? I forgot it was, but it was
The Sheik.
Iron Sheik. It was Iron Sheik. He was the perfect bad guy. We had Iron Sheik and you had Hulk. Listen, that was perfect. Yeah, the guy for America, Hulk Hogan. He had Iron Sheik. Everybody was spitting at him and booing at him. They gave him death threats. He said, "That is how you do your job. Everybody hates you, and you play the heel. He was the heel, and then his heelness made everybody love Hulk Hogan even more.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because everybody's going crazy for this guy. But
But
after everything's over and they're inside, they're giving each other hugs and daps. Man, good show. You did a great job.
Working out
That's
together.
the point. It's all a show. It's all a game. And we're getting caught. Oh, he's the bad guy. Yeah, he's the bad guy. They're both bad guys.
Sheep get slaughtered, bro.
Because they said Hulk Hogan was one of the worst guys you could ever meet.
Coconut.
How about that?
King of Coke.
He was a horrible guy. Not just that, he wouldn't let other guys come up. He would sabotage. He sabotaged Macho Man's career. There's so much more craziness just with people out. But what you see, you think they're a certain way, and they're not. Yes.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. Because the presidential salary is low, right?
It's like $250,000.
They're getting-
It's like $250,000.
Fucking
Of course.
Right.
Of course. All of them are getting paid with all the side deals they're making with their inside their country affairs and their geopolitical endeavors.
Right now, all weapons makers are all the shares and stocks for weapons makers are going through the roof right now.
Yeah.
All Northrop gunmen that makes bombs, all their shares are just skyrocketing.
Quote for that, right?
But it is the military-industrial complex,
Yep.
which I'm talking about. But then there's actual people doing business in these countries. Listen, there's a reason they want to fight in Taiwan. They want to keep Taiwan independent. If China takes over Taiwan, they take over the business endeavors in Taiwan. They lose their money in Taiwan.
Significant disadvantage.
That's the point. Listen, they want to sit back here and keep Ukraine for multiple reasons. You keep Ukraine, you're one step closer to Russia, destroying them.
Leverage.
Because you really want to break up Russia into 20 different provinces to bring different business companies and endeavors inside of it. When they took over Yugoslavia, what they don't tell you is once they bankrupted it, the American companies came and bought the businesses at pennies of the dollar, but kept their old Russian or Yugoslavian names. But they were under the brand of United States companies. This is how they get you. So they said, I remember reading about, there was a cigarette company in Yugoslavia that serviced 2/3 of that whole region. They didn't bomb it though. They didn't bomb that place.
Of course not.
They didn't bomb it because they wanted it. They bombed these other places that were worthless. But that plant that produced the cigarettes at that level, they waited. The country bankrupted. Then Marlboro bought it for pennies of the dollar. But then they kept the name, so you would think it's just the name. But this is what they did in all these countries. They break it, they bankrupt it, and they buy it pennies of the dollar, and they just use it as another extension of their corporation.
So on paper, it's Marlboro.
Yeah. Yeah.
People think it's the right.
That's what it was. It's just like when you drink Minute Maid. Minute Maid's Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You just think it's Minute Maid.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
That's the whole thing. But this is how they make money. But then you know what? How you make money? You're on the board of the directors.
Right.
If you're on board of directors, you're getting this big check annually for just contributing financially to the company.
And you decide which way the direction of the company's going.
But really, that person that's on there is just a shadow person for the senator. That's your kid. So you're hooking them up and you're getting paid.
Yep.
This is the hustle. That's the game. But with all that being said, this is the game that the Jews were trying to set up too. Let's create this false confidence. Let's entice spending.
Yep.
Let's push security so we can all get paid and we can keep manipulating and taking advantage of
The ignorance of
the ignorant people. It's going to keep explaining itself. Read verse 4.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 4. Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, O son of man. And the Spirit of the Lord fell upon me, and said unto me, Speak, thus saith the Lord. Thus have ye said, O house of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind, every one of them.
He says, I know
Damn.
everything that's in your mind. Hold this verse real quick because we're going to go into this. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 52.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 52.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, unto thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest.
The prophecy was, listen, man, all these high walls that you've trusted in, you're going to get besieged in those high walls. Your comfort, the things you think are going to protect you from the fall, is going to actually erode. And this is why, even in our situation, there's limits to how much we can doomsday prep. There's limits to how much we can prepare for this end. Does that mean you don't do nothing? No. But you know, he's like, listen, all the things you trust in, you know, all these doomsday preppers think they can do, they can withstand it.
Yeah.
Just get through the first wave, lay low, survive, and then you use your survival skills to get you through the next level. That's bullshit, right? He said, the Most High said, he's going to tear down all of your high walls and your high fence walls. That means everything you feel comfortable in, everything you're secure in. Some people are comfortable and secure in their jobs, in their careers, in the money that they make, in their pensions. For some people, the pensions and money is their security. He's going to take that away.
Remember, after the housing market crashed, a lot of government employees were on furloughs.
Kinda.
They was only getting a portion of their money. Wells only got once every 2 weeks. I mean, once a month instead of once every 2 weeks, and they was only getting half their money. There's a lot of angry people that had to go to work, and they're only getting half a check.
Kinda.
But you still had to go to work though. You had to do the same work. You had to do the same work on a half a check, and you still got bills.
And you shook.
Yep.
You're glitching out there. You're glitching at the job.
Yeah.
Because your money ain't right.
Your money ain't right, and
You can't even think right when your money ain't right. For most people, you can't think right when you're like, you know what? My car note's 2 months behind. People start glitching. I'm telling you, people start glitching. When it's 2 months behind and you're getting these 835 number phone calls out, or the 888 numbers, you're like,
Weird
shit.
numbers.
It's like, you know who it is.
You know who it is.
And then what happens is, after you don't answer that one, they call from another number.
Yeah.
And then after a while, after the 800 numbers don't work, they call from your local numbers.
Yeah.
When can we
It's
expect
like, God,
payment?
these goddamn people are coming at different angles to get their money. Then you start feeling the pressure. Then you all of a sudden you start putting your car in the parking lot, in the garage. You start putting it in the garage. You like really thinking about
high buildings.
You're planning out where you gonna go, like where am I go, so I don't have it exposed. It ain't easy if you just got to pull the car out.
In the tow truck. Yeah.
You got to pull it behind certain things and make it hard for the person. You don't know if the man is looking to get you. You don't know when they're gonna sick him on you.
You know he's coming.
Is it 2.5 months? Is it month 3? Because first month you always push back. You can get the first month, you can push it back. But after that first month, then you're on the clock. Then the calls start getting more frequent.
Yep.
Then you feel that heat. And then when it comes to mortgages, you start getting a lot of letters out.
A lot of letters.
It's like, and then you know it's serious when they start sending you certified letters.
Yep.
When it's certified, that's your ass.
Yeah.
When it's certified and you got to sign for it to come,
Yeah.
you know now they're establishing the paper trail.
Because legally they have to send you certified letters before they
Now
take
it's a
it.
paper trail. Now they know you got it. Now there's no running. Now you're legitimately on the clock. Yes, sis?
I worked foreclosures before, and when they send you legal papers, that means they have attorneys.
I know it's over. You're on the clock now. Now you're really on the clock. There's no more farting around. So once again,
Then you got to pay attorney fees plus the late fees.
I know.
Plus what you behind on.
I know.
Then it triples.
I know. And especially, and if there ain't no COVID, they ain't having no mercy out. Ain't no COVID, none of that crap out. There's no mercy.
Yeah, like COVID was
They buy you time. They buy you time. We understand.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Yeah. We'll give you a big wink. You won't still have to pay this. We're just gonna give you a little time. We want our money.
Yeah. They're like, why were you short?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID hit us.
You know, what get me is that people are like, I just want to take my house. I just want to take it away. But you haven't paid.
The answer is yes. We want to take your house because you know what we can do. You might have put $100,000 worth of interest in it, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna sit back and resell it and still get $200,000 worth of interest because that's the game.
Yep.
So listen, my point is this. I'm only going there as a reminder that everything that we have our trust in. Now Israel had their trust in their fenced cities. They called it the cauldron. That was the protection. He's like, I'm going to take that protection away from you when they besiege this. What good is this comfortable besieged city if there's no food to eat?
Right.
That because you're not thinking like that when you're focusing on your comfort. The Most High, Most High is the King of Terrors. He knows how to break you, even though you have your comfort.
Yeah.
So you might have your food storage, your water storage. What good is the water storage if water gets polluted somehow?
Yeah.
What happens? What happens to your food if rats get in it? All your bags of food. What are you gonna do then? And they're taking a shit in your rice sack.
What's that guy?
What are you gonna do?
All the weevils got you.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you gonna fight through them weevils? You gonna put them in water out? You gonna figure that out? But I'm talking about some worse critters, right?
My mom was like that.
That's what I'm saying. We'll figure out the weevils thing. We'll figure that out. But some rats out, ratatouille out there, I don't know. I don't know. Listen, what are we trying to say? Read verse 52 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until the high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest.
And this is what these 25 princes are trusting in. Their walls and their protection. The Most High said, I'm going to break that protection down. The things you trust in, I'm going to break down. And this is why Josiah was shook when he read these, when the prophecies were read to him. Because this is what was read to him. And this is why he made those sweeping reforms. He's like, man, this is talking about our nation now. Now we know it's talking about the besiege of Jerusalem and our fall to America. It was twofold. Okay? But for now, this is really about to happen. Read on.
Throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Okay, now we'll go back to this chapter later because this really explains what happens with the besieging of the temple. But with that being the case, let's go to verse 4 in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4.
11.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, O son of man. And the Spirit of the Lord fell upon me, and said unto me, Speak, thus saith the Lord. Thus have ye said, O house of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind, every one of them.
He says, I know exactly what's on your mind. I know exactly what's in your heart. I know the plans you're setting up. Read on.
Ye have multiplied your slain in this city, and ye have filled the streets thereof with the slain.
He's like, you're slaying these people with your policies. These princes were taking advantage of the weak. These princes were taking advantage of the poor. You're slaying these people in the streets with debt. Listen, you're slaying them with debt. You're slaying them with poverty. Because while you're making money, somebody else is suffering. Read on.
Hold on, I get a scripture on that. Psalms 146, verse 9. Because in order for somebody to be wealthy, somebody has to be poor.
Yep. 146, verse 9. Okay.
Psalms 146 and verse 9. Psalms 146 and verse 9. The Lord preserveth the strangers.
But see, the Most High preserved the ones that's out, that's cast out and forgotten about. He preserved the strangers. Read on.
He relieveth the fatherless.
And while we're thinking about getting money, the Most High is thinking about the fatherless. He's thinking about the strangers. Our minds are on two different things.
You know,
we're thinking
crazy,
about our positions.
Just so you, I'm in the country. I'm so sorry, but just on this point, when we get to the far, far end, when Israel gets besieged, you know who gets left back? There's actually people that get left back. It's the poor, and you're left back just to farm the land and send the proceeds back to the Babylonians. Why is that important? Because the Most High still looked after the poor.
Still.
And he still fed them. He still took care of the poor. It was the aristocrats and the princes that got their lives turned upside down and destroyed. Back to your point. He still looked after the poor. The poor that was suffering under these wicked princes were still looked upon and was shown more mercy by the king of Babylon than their own people were doing. Keep going. I'm so sorry. I had to bring that point up.
Go ahead.
He relieveth the fatherless and widow. But the way of the wicked he turneth upside down.
And that's what he's about to change. He's about to change all the lifestyles of the princes, all the lifestyles of the rulers, all the lifestyles of the false prophets, all the lifestyles of the kings, all their lifestyles, how they function, their comfortability, their peace that they think that they have that they're trying to push to the people. He said he's going to turn that what?
Turn it upside down.
So when he turns something upside down, what does that mean? That means that those that are on top are going to be put where? On the bottom. And that those that are on the bottom are going to be where? On top. That's what the Most High does when he turns things upside down. He reverses the roles of the individuals and their lives. So when the elite think that it's their time to rule and they think they're going to have a preserved amount of time to be on top, and they're trying to shun away Ezekiel, shun away Jeremiah, because they don't want their time to be expired. It's the Most High that intercedes for those that have no voice. It's the Most High that intercedes for those that have no position, that have no power, and those are the ones that he turns upside down. This is how you know America is going to get what? Turned upside down. And though all those that live in the heights, all those that live in the cliffs and the valleys and the hills, the crests of the peaks of the mountains, all those
when it feels cooler outside,
breezier. Yeah,
I'm not lying about that breeziness out. When you're in rich neighborhoods, it feels cooler out. It feels like 5 degrees cooler out. I don't know about you, it just feels better out. But keep going.
You know why? Because they got trees.
That's what it is.
That's right.
That's got to be it. It's trees. It's tree cover.
You know what? It's hotter. It's hotter when you live in a concrete project.
That's what it is.
Because the sun has absorbed the heat all day.
I think that's the answer.
And then you got like a bush. You got like a bush or two. But then when you're in a concrete jungle, it's hotter. The street is hot. The brick is emanating heat. The street got little waves coming off of the street, little holograms coming off the street.
Yes, yeah. It's like cooking around your chest.
Yeah, you can see like, there's that water up ahead? No, there ain't no water up ahead.
It's a mirage, G. That is a mirage, G.
That's called heat vapor. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in the good area, they got trees, they got grass, they can absorb that heat. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. That is the answer.
That's the difference.
That is the answer.
But he said, but that's the Most High doing what? He turns things upside down. And that's the Most High's job. But you know what? When you discredit or discount those on the bottom, those are the ones the Most High's looking at. Those are the ones he's checking out. You can let that go back to
Can I pull scripture?
Con.
On the same vein, Isaiah chapter 41, verse 17 and verse 18. And to verse 20.
Isaiah chapter 41, verse 18.
Verse 17, sir.
17. Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 17. When the poor and needy seek water.
When the poor and needy seek water. Water is an essential nutrient. It says hydration matters. Your organs need it for functionality. You need it for circulation. You can't just dispense your bowels without water, without moisture. Read.
And there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst.
And their condition is their tongue faileth for thirst. They say one of the greatest pains of all time is the pain of thirst. There's different pains, but they say one of the worst pains ever that people complain about is the pain of thirst. It's almost unbearable when you're dealing with true thirst. Read.
I, the Lord, will hear them.
He said, the Most High said, when these people are completely thirsty and they're poor and needy and they can't deliver themselves with resources, I, the Lord, will do what?
Will hear them.
I want to hear their prayer. I want to extend my ear to the prayer of those that are disenfranchised and they're really defenseless. Read.
I, the power of Israel, will not forsake them.
The Most High, it's impossible for the Most High to lie. He, the power of Israel, will not forsake them. I'm not going to sit here and just tolerate them being thirsty like this. I'm going to look out for them. Because I know the princes ain't going to do it. Read.
I will open rivers in high places.
The Most High himself will already set up structures and situations and conditions to open up rivers in high places. Spiritual blessings out of nowhere. Situations that can't be explained. Read.
And fountains in the midst of the valley.
And I'm going to open up those hidden fountains that people don't know where they're at. You're going to find hidden fountains. He's going to open up wealth necessary for their people's survival. Read.
I will make the wilderness a pool of water.
Read on.
And the dry land springs of water.
He'll completely change the condition just for the poor. Read. Because he cares about them. The wealthy might not. Those that are far and they don't have the same need, they might not care, but the Most High cares. Read.
I will plant in the wilderness the cedar.
Read on.
The shittock tree and the myrtle.
Read on.
And the oil tree.
Read on.
I will set in the desert the fir tree.
Read on.
And the pine and the box tree together.
I'm going to take them from a desert condition to a full forest. The Most High promised that. Read.
That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it.
Bottom line, to show his power. Most High will show his power through the poor.
God. So listen, you good? Let's go back to Ezekiel 11, and let's get verse 7 now.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 7. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, your slain whom ye have laid in the midst of it, they are the flesh, and this city is the cauldron.
He said, you're looking at your little explanation the wrong way. The flesh, he says, the flesh of the slain that you've taken advantage of. And that cauldron is you. You have created a city based upon destroying and taking advantage of people. You're painting a picture of the city as his protection and we're the protected people in the city, when in actuality you've been slaying the people in the city and you've been taking advantage of the people, and the city is the cauldron. The city is wicked. And this is why I have to destroy this city. Read on.
But I will bring you forth out of the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have feared the sword.
He says, you leaders, you princes have feared what's about to come to you. Because you know why you feared it? Because you saw people just like you getting sent out and shipped out to Babylon. So you're afraid that might happen to you. And because you're afraid it's going to happen to you, you're doubling down the opposite direction. Read on.
And I will bring a sword upon you.
He says, I'm going to bring that thing that you're afraid of. I'm going to bring that sword to you. I know you're afraid of it, and it's coming to you. Read on.
And I will bring you out of the midst thereof, and deliver you into the hand of strangers.
He says, I'm going to pull you out of that cauldron, that safe place. And I'm going to sit back and bring you into the hands of strangers. Read on.
And will execute judgments among you.
But that judgment is the sword. I'm going to bring you out of your comfortable place, and you're going to face those people that you're running from. Read on.
Ye shall fall by the sword. I will judge you in the borders of Israel.
Come.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord.
These prophecies, don't forget, obviously the message is being sent to them from far above, from far away. So Ezekiel is sending these messages to these people. So the Most High is attacking these negative people on two fronts. You got Jeremiah in Israel is walking around with damn shackles on his head, trying to get Israel to change. But also Ezekiel is getting the visions of what's happening in Israel, writing the message down and sending it to Israel.
Getting intel.
But he's getting the intel and ratting them out and warning that the destruction's coming from that side. Mosai is doing whatever he could so that Israel will know that, hey, he's real and I had a chance to repent. Okay?
What better way than to decipher what they said in secret out in the open?
God.
To let it be known that although you had this secret plan, your secret plan has been foiled and exposed. You know what I'm saying? That lets it, then they got to ask themselves,
this is prophecy, man.
Either they're going to start attacking themselves and say, who's the rat in here? We got a rat amongst us. Or they're going to say, well, the Most High must have heard our speech and that what we said in secret.
How is the rat getting all the way to Babylon with the message?
That's
and it coming back to him? That's the Lord.
That's how you know it's the Most High.
Let's keep going. You had a question?
No.
Why you had your hand? Okay.
No, I think that one was reading.
Yes, sir. Verse 11. This city shall not be your cauldron, neither shall ye be the flesh in the midst thereof.
He says this city is not going to be your protection. And you're not going to be protected by the city. Read on.
But I will judge you in the border of Israel.
I mean, I'm going to pull you out of this comfort zone and you're going to get judged in front of the people. Read on.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord. For ye have not walked in my statutes, neither executed my judgments, but have done after the manners of the heathen that are round about you.
He said, man, you're rolling like the nations. You're treating your people. First of all, you're rolling like the nations because you follow idols. But two, you're treating your people like they're the nations. He said, you're treating our people like you're the nations and you're looking down on them. You're taking advantage of the people. Hold this verse and go to Jeremiah 5, verse 11 through 12 and 26 through 29.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 11.
1 second, I'm just typing in. Okay, Jeremiah 5. Read that, sir.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 11. For the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, saith the Lord. They have belied the Lord and said, It is not he, neither shall evil come upon us.
He says this was going on in Jeremiah's time in Jerusalem, and they're seeing it in the time of Ezekiel. He's like, man, they're lying on Most High, and they're saying that evil is not going to come to them. Neither is the sword nor the famine going to happen to us. Read on.
We're good.
Everything's going to be okay. Read on.
And the prophet...
No, I want the 11 and 12, and then 26 through 29. Listen, Jeremiah chapter 5 is a great chapter. I just don't want to... There's only so much time, and if we keep going through all the chapters, we'll never get anything done. Verse 26.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men.
There's no doubt. Read on.
They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men.
And listen, they're catching men through their economic policies.
Yeah.
This is what Ezekiel 11 was talking about. They're catching men in traps with loans, with debts. And listen, it's just like how Esau has these bank loans. They were called
predatory loans.
Predatory loans. They were designed. You get a loan for 3 years. It was at a certain rate, and after 2 or 3 years, there was a higher rate that just exploded out of nowhere.
Adjustable rate mortgage.
And it was an arm. It was called an arm, and those arms started kicking in and started mechanizing, and people couldn't make the payments anymore.
Yeah, you got in low at a low credit score.
Yep. Low. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got a low credit score to get in.
You should have been denied.
You should have been denied the loan because you didn't have the credit
or the money to pay for it.
Yep. But they let you in anyway, and then just to boost you up 2 years later and balloon the payment, and then evict you later on.
Exactly. So that's how people
And then
get caught
blame
in snares.
and then blame it on Henry Cisneros,
Yeah.
which is the old mayor of San Antonio.
Why they blame it on him, man?
He was head of housing authority. That's how.
It's crazy, but it's
The
really banks.
Fannie Mae, I believe he was head of Fannie Mae or Freddie Mae. Yeah, Freddie Mac,
right?
Yeah, Freddie Mac. He was the head, so they blame it on him. They put him in that position just so he could be the fall guy and the blame for when the economy fell out.
But that was a nationwide thing. These loans were being opened up across the board.
Yeah.
And then I remember one of the banks were bad was called Aquin. They were horrible with those loans. Aquin will sit back and give you bogus loans, and then sit back and inflate the price 2 or 3 years later. You lose the loan, and then 15 years later, there's a class action settlement against them. How they were doing predatory loans on purpose.
Yep.
Then when that happened, they just folded and shut down. Money was already made. Money's gone, man. Yep. We're going to dissolve the LLC.
Dissolve it and start something else.
They called it Fakwin. They changed it up. It changed it a different name.
Backwards and stuff.
Yeah, Nigwagak. You get the point. So read verse 26 again.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men.
So this is showing how they took advantage of people in the city. It wasn't just idolatry. It was idolatry and it was financial trickery act.
Yep.
That took advantage of people's land, their property, their resources, their money. This is what Israel was doing inside the city.
That's why the scripture says the Most High hates diverse weights.
God.
Is it because it's a sin of idolatry? Meaning, like, if idolatry is a service itself, then they make it
It's just corruption.
It's just corruption now. It's just about we're gonna make this money, hell or high water. We're gonna get paid. And the only way to increase in riches, like chapter 1 says, somebody got to fall. Somebody has to lose.
You can't have an imbalance of wealth without somebody being the victim of extreme policies.
Don't forget the Greeks. What fed us into really descending into the Hellenistic culture? There was money to be made there. They were sitting back here and petitioning to the Greeks to set up these gymnasiums, to set up business endeavors. This is what happened before the abomination of desolation. They were getting financed by the Greeks to build businesses in Jerusalem that were pro-Greek. This is about making money in Israel. They were bringing in Greek businesses. And that was what they were sitting back here and doing to boost up their economy. They were bringing Greek business, and they were sitting back here and doing side deals with the Greek leadership to bring influx of money and capital into the city. Because don't forget, if you were subject to the Greek Empire, there was limits to how much money people can make. So if there's limits to how people can financially succeed, the only way to make money is to sit back here and bring Greek businesses and Greek infrastructure into the nation. This is how money was made. This is how people thrived. Does that make sense? And that was the beginning of the strong push for the Hellenistic belief system. It was fed behind economics. When it comes on making money, people will sit back here and change outfits, change clothing to fit in and make money.
Is this before we asked for the license to sin? Or what's
Yeah, that was during the time. It wasn't just gymnasiums.
Right.
It was how you make money in general. So I can get financially backed by the Greeks. So I can get paid. How else are you going to make money? Everybody was on fixed incomes. Everybody's money was touched because they were still vassals. They still had to give money to promote the Greek Empire and to sustain the Greeks. Yes, sir?
I'll say they were murderers hating their brother.
No doubt. But you know, they were murderers spiritually. Because I would sit back and bring decadence to the nation for $1. That was happening then, and they're doing it now.
Muzzle out the ox that tread the corn.
There we go. But you know, they didn't care about that. So, where are we at? Jeremiah 5 and 27. Let's keep going.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 27. As a cage is full of birds.
Listen, a cage being full of birds, what are you seeing in that cage? Just chaos out. And if I got a cage full of birds and I put food in there, what's going to happen out?
Go to war.
They're going to go to war for that little bitty piece of food. So what he's saying is in Jerusalem, it was every man for themselves. I'm going to get mine, big bank, take little bank. And that's what it was. But you know what it was? A better way to say the hood, it was capitalism.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was still a spirit of capitalism taking advantage of one for the other.
Keep them in chaos.
Con. So he says, as the cage is full of birds, read on.
So are their houses full of deceit.
That's how you keep making money. You got to establish lies. Read on.
Therefore they are become great and waxen rich.
You wax rich by lying and taking advantage of the weak and the poor. This is what the Most High was so upset with Jehoiakim with. Because that's what Jehoiakim was doing. He was taking advantage of the poor. He was sitting back and having men build up his house, not paying them. They were screwing people over on wages. They were sitting back here manipulating and lying and using people. Yes, sir.
No, so it's like keep them focused on the crumbs while we make the real thing.
Con. But in order to do that, I got to preach and teach prosperity and peace. So I can keep robbing you. I can keep taking your money. This is what happens now in the country. It's the same con. That's the point. We want to talk about how corrupt Esau's system is. We did it before them to our own people. Read on.
They are waxen fat. They shine.
They're shining and waxing fat because they're making money. There's haves and there's a lot of have-nots. He said there was 25. 25 halves. A lot of them didn't have anything. Like Kawakabi used to always tell me, he said there was, I think, 10 families in Guatemala that were rich. And all the other people are broke. You had one family controlled the chicken industry. One controlled the beer industry. One controlled the volcano lands that had access to all the fruits and vegetables. You had a handful of people that monopolized. That's what monopolies are. And the funny thing is, everybody talks about like during World War II, after that, how the monopolies were broken up. They really weren't. Monopolies were never broken up. Corporations were established, and you can sit back and create different companies under one umbrella. It's still a monopoly. It's the idea of choice was created. But monopolies are still in existence. Just like they were here. He said these 25 princes ran the whole show. But that's how men of power have always operated. The men of power, the 25 princes, they run everything else. Everybody else is broke and suffering. He says these 25 are going to fall.
It's what capitalism is based on.
Con.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 16, real quick. Just on that point.
Oh, I didn't even put the damn chapter on.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 16.
Get it in a second.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 16. He that oppresseth the poor.
It said he that does what?
He that oppresseth the poor.
So there's something that happens when you oppress the poor. What happens when you oppress the poor? Go ahead.
To increase his riches.
So what happens when you oppress the poor?
To increase his riches.
Because that's only one way to come up. Other people have to what?
Suffer.
They have to come down.
Yep.
Somebody got to come down so you can come up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one way. If there's gonna be a wealth imbalance where you have more than other people, because otherwise, if you had more or you had extra, you would redistribute your extra to the poor so that everybody's on an even plane.
But then when you redistribute, you're losing money.
Yeah, you equalize. You make yourself equal with the people. So in order to create this separation of class and society, I have to have more than you to create the idea and the notion that I'm better than you. So in order to do that, I gotta oppress you. He
You
said
have to maintain more security and comfort.
God, read it again.
He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich.
And he that giveth to the rich, go ahead.
Shall surely come to want.
He says the Most High will redistribute the wealth the way it's supposed to be. He'll shake up the rich so that the poor can eat.
Kind of.
He'll shake up the rich so that the poor can have something. Because obviously they're hoarding it for themselves. They're hoarding the resources to themselves. You know, a lot of people, there's enough money to go around to where there shouldn't be poor people.
Yeah.
You look at the food that's wasted after in restaurants. You look at the food that's wasted in grocery stores. How much food is thrown away in a day? There shouldn't be no hungry people.
Listen, they're sending over 100 plus, 200 plus $billion to Ukraine, and they can't sit back and take care of the homeless. I don't know if you ever saw these images in Philadelphia where the people are just on the streets like zombies, bro. They're just like zombies out. They're literally like this out, and people are just suffering out.
But you had $200 billion to send to Ukraine.
That's the point. You'll go to sit back and go to Oakland, and you'll just see streets and streets of just outdoor living out. California, Skid Row. You just have this streets and streets of people that is homeless.
Ghost towns.
And half of them just have mental illness. And that's why they can't get on their feet. Half of their homeless, the majority of homeless are on drugs or have mental illness. All you have to do is put facilities in the cities that work on mental illness. But the problem is there's no gain, there's no financial gain in it. There's no profit. That's why it's not done. But you can blow $200 billion. And it's okay. And that went to nothing. That $200 billion that went to Ukraine just caused 450,000 deaths of the Ukrainians.
Yeah, it's flippable.
That's all it was. Listen, the Ukrainians lost 450,000 men. And they lost ground and they lost territory. What benefit came from that? You know what the Esau says? The benefit is that we kill some Russians.
Money gets made.
That's not though. They said on national TV, the benefit of the Ukraine war is that we weaken the Russian army. The Russians lost less than 100,000 people. They might have lost 50 to 60,000. So $200 billion worth of blown money is if you just took out 60,000 Russians. That don't even make even if it was 100. That don't even make no sense.
It's to keep the U.S. dollar in that area.
Well, what it is if I have a chance of weakening Russia. Well, this is what they also said. If we weaken Russia, we indirectly weaken China, so we can maintain hegemony over the world. Because the thing is this: if they can weaken Russia, then China has no military ally, which means China is going to have to bow down to United States policy. This is the thinking. And this is the thinking also. We need to go at Iran because Iran is helping supply Russia with these drones. Russia has been smashing Ukraine with drone usage. They're getting the drone technology and the drones from Iran. So listen, it's no secret why these wars are being portrayed the way they are. They got to take down Russia. They got to use Taiwan, dangle the issue with Taiwan to try to weaken China's position in Taiwan. And they're trying to go at Iran. Listen, Hamas is not a battle. They're going to run through the Hamas at the Gaza Strip within days. That's not the problem. The problem is evacuated. But there's nowhere to go. The problem is Hezbollah up north in Lebanon. And if Hezbollah gets drawn in, then Iran gets drawn in. Then Syria gets drawn in. They're trying to bring Iran in. Because if they can weaken Iran, they can weaken Russia. They can weaken China. So we'll see. We're waiting to see how this plays out. But all these geopolitical chess pieces are being used to break Russia and to break China. So that the dollar can sustain itself. So the United States global hegemony can stay potent. That's what this is about. What's that?
I don't know if you can say this on camera, but do you think, I guess, Hamas was actually just a faction from the United States?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. What I do believe is that intelligence knew they were coming and they let it happen. I think that's the case. I think that country's their intelligence is so strong. There's no way they didn't know. I think it was allowed to happen to establish this hell. And then if they do sit back here and because the thing is this, these Arab nations are trying to send foreign aid to help these people. There's no water. There's no power. They cut it all off. And they're cutting off global help and support.
They cut off
to help them up.
Right.
But not just, they're cutting off all help. So they're sitting back here starving, no power, no water. And it's days before they come and just blow it up. And when that happens, the question is Iran going to get pulled in? Is Libya going to get pulled in? Is Syria going to get pulled in? Because if it is, now that is a recipe for some World War III action going on here.
Is prophecy being
Yeah.
fulfilled?
If it goes beyond Hamas.
Yeah,
Because it's just wars and rumors of wars right now. But if we start escalating into jihads, because Jordan is ready to go. Jordan is east of Palestine. They're ready to fight. Hezbollah is waiting to fight. It just has to be something to spark them to do it. And if they come in, Syria's coming in, because they're already fighting the United States as they speak in the eastern part of Syria.
I think because Russia is supposed to get into a war with Israel or something.
Well, that's later on. That's later on.
You're already getting notices on your phone about, cities talking about be on high alert. If y'all haven't seen them on your phone yet,
Yep.
From coming in from every city, they're here in San Antonio, Austin.
Red terrorism alert.
Yeah, there's already
They're
putting their police departments on high alert here in America. Now, if you look at New York,
Yeah, they're saying that there's supposed to be a jihad.
Oh, like ISIS? Kind of like
Yeah.
ISIS thing?
And there's supposed to be an attack on the United States. They're saying that they're prepping people for that possibility.
because in New York, you look at New York 2 years ago, there was the Israelis and the Palestinians was already fighting in the street in New York. Well, they're back on the street again now. Already, they're on speakers. They're throwing punches at each other. They got barricades between Palestinian villages and Israeli neighborhoods in New York. It's already happening. And here in America, it's already getting hot. The tensions are already getting hot.
Yeah.
So the Most High already got that cooking.
So it's a matter of if that fighting boils over into some legitimate hostilities. We'll see. We'll see. That's why I'm kind of like mum on it. We'll see if this thing really escalates. Because the escalation, when you know prophetically things are going bad, is when you're dealing with the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And the Valley of Jehoshaphat deals with the day of decision. Should we go up against Syria or not? That land of Syria is Syria, Iraq, Iran. That is the area that you want to kind of look at to see if things escalate. So we're waiting to see about Iran, Syria, Iraq. That area is what we're looking at. Yes, I.
Yeah, they had Lindsey Graham was talking about nuking and bombing Iraq.
Yeah, listen. That's the guy. That's the guy that's talking about. We got to go to Iran, even though all the reports said that the Hamas did this on their own. They're saying no, Iran did it. He's trying to stir the pot to pull Iran in, because if Iran is in, it's on. It's on. Iran has nuclear technology.
Yeah.
These guys aren't they're not throwing rocks out like the Hamas is out. You ever saw the Hamas fight video out? They're like cutting on lawnmowers out and it's like lawnmowers and they have like these little wind chimes and they just flying like 15 feet above the land and they're getting pushed into the fight. Like, this is lame. This isn't like high tech nothing.
Yeah, it's a parachute on the back
They're
of a
parachuting the lawnmower engine parts.
Yeah, a go-kart with a parachute.
That's what I'm saying. And the guy's got to push it into the air. Like, this is horrible. Why are you hyping this up? This is like a hype video. Hype video, you showing bombs. They're like, the guy, like, two guys are pushing it and it flows in the air. I'm like, this isn't hotness. This is not what was hot in the streets.
Man, World War II had more better.
That's what I'm saying. But with those German biplanes, that was advanced.
That was advanced submarine.
Yeah. Was that?
I saw like a post. It was like people from those countries that invaded. They were caught like trying to get into the United States.
No. They can't even get out of damn Gaza. They can't even get to Egypt because Egypt's cutting off the entry. Because they're like, listen, if these Hamas, these Palestinians, if we let them into Egypt, the Israelis will never let them back in. So they said Egypt's not letting these people go to Egypt. Because they said if you go to Egypt, the government of Israel will never let you back. They'll just blow it up and occupy it and say you're stuck. You can't come back in. So the president Egypt like, man, if I bring you in, I'm gonna be stuck with you forever. He said, I'm not taking on that weight. It's 2 million people out there. I gotta take on 2 million people because you're not gonna let them back. He says, nope, I'm cutting it off. But the problem is a death sentence for the Palestinians, huh? Anyway, let's finish off this chapter, man. I think Shams want to finish that point. Let's go back to Ezekiel. That was a perfect verse, though. Ezekiel 11 in verse I think no. I was still in Jeremiah, wasn't I?
God.
I was in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 5 and 27, 28.
28.
Okay, let's keep going.
God.
It's 28.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 28. They're waxen fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
And he says, our people that have power and influence overpass the deeds of the wicked. Because we're sitting back here, the princes and the elites were taking advantage of the people. Okay, read on.
They judge not the cause of the father.
And that's how you know they were taking advantage of people, because they said they didn't sit back here and judge the cause of the fatherless. Meaning, when I'm doing my business plans, am I considering the poor? Am I considering the needy? He says, you didn't judge the cause of the fatherless. When you're setting up cities and making money and doing business deals, are you considerate of the sick and the needy and the widows? Read on.
Yet they prosper.
They prosper, but the fatherless suffer. This one was boiling the Most High's blood. Read on.
And the right of the needy do they not judge.
Meaning, they were overpassing the deeds of the wicked. They were making money. They were getting waxing fat and shining, but the needy were suffering more. And that was even before the Babylonians came in and ransacked it for the second time in 586 BC. And if we're reading in Jeremiah 5, that means this was before the first ransacking in 597, the second ransacking in 598, and the last ransacking in 586. All three, they never got the memo or the message to take advantage, to help the needy, to look after the needy, to protect the needy,
When he said
look
that,
after the fatherless.
when he said that overpass the deeds of the wicked, why would somebody overpass the deeds of the wicked? That means you're getting bribes.
Con.
You're getting your palms greased. You're getting your palms waxed. That means somebody's putting something in your hand so you don't look at the deeds of the wicked. Somebody's paying you off to look the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's bribes being done when you overpass the deeds of the wicked.
And nobody is thinking about the effect of their decisions on the sick and the needy. And that thinking is wicked. Okay, let's continue. Verse 29.
Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
He says, man, I'm going to get y'all back for this. And that was the first time during Jehoiakim's time. Okay, now let's go back to Ezekiel 11 and verse 12 again.
Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 12. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, for ye have not walked in my statutes, neither executed my judgments, but have done after the manners of the heathen that are round about you.
Read on.
And it came to pass, when I prophesied, that Pelatiah, the son of Benaniah, died. Then fell I down upon my face, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Ah, Lord Yahweh, wilt thou make a full end of the remnant of Israel?
First of all, what's crazy is this. This is how we know men like Ezekiel and Jeremiah are just even better than us. Listen, Pelatiah, the son of Benaiah, was the guy that was in chapter 1. Verse 1 of Ezekiel 11. He said, I saw Jaazaniah and Pelatiah, the son of Benaiah, prince of the people. These people were doing negative. They were wicked. They were taking advantage of the sick, taking advantage of the fatherless and the widows. Verse 13 says that Pelatiah, the son of Benaniah, died. And Ezekiel was still feeling bad about the fact that this wicked man had to die. And he felt sorrowful that Israel was going to keep dying off. He had a legitimate care for his people, to the fact that Ezekiel knew that Pelatiah was a negative guy and still felt bad that he had to go. And the Most High had to take him. Ezra had the same issue. Remember, Ezra kept crying and being sorrowful for the fall of the nation. Jeremiah 2. It's saying, listen, the really great men had enough love and compassion even for the negative people to have mercy on them. How many of us have mercy on our people? Even when they're negative. Even when they deserve the punishment. How many of us feel bad even though they deserved it. For Israel, for our people. Most of them were like, well, nigga deserved it. Well, that's what happened. That's the vengeance of the Lord. The Lord came through and took out the wicked.
Told him.
We counseled them. You know what's crazy? It just shows how negative we are still. And how much hate we have in our hearts. To where we'll even rejoice at the fall of an enemy. This man still had remorse in his heart for the fall of a negative person. It's just when you read it, it's like, damn, these guys had real love and compassion. What kind of people are we? When people are in a negative fall, we don't have no compassion for them. Where is our mercy? On the wicked, let alone the righteous, or the people that are trying to be better? Where are we at? How comfortable is our standing with the Heavenly Father? How secure are we in the kingdom if I don't even have any compassion over the negative person? The negative Israelite that fell. It just proves there are so many more greater men than we even know, that we even have an idea about. It just shows us how detached and how far away from spiritual reality we are, and how far away from really being classified as great men in Christ that we are.
And that's why you can't parade with this celebration of we're great.
We're on some level,
We're the top 3,
We're not, bro.
Guys.
The 144,000. No, we're not. You know, this means we're trying.
Yeah.
You know, this means 144 mentality. We're trying to be better. That's all it is. Ain't we want some more 144,000. You know what? These guys are 144,000 guys. We're just trying to hang on and be 1/3. How about the best of our generation are possibly 1/3? How about that one? That's scary. That's scary as hell. That the best of these guys around us are 1/3 at best. That puts a lot of stuff in perspective. Because if we're not even in the running of the 144,000, then what are we in the running for? The 1/3. The cats that are elevated on the lower level. The cats that are the servants of the greatest men around. The servants of the 12,000. You know why? Just because of disposition. Our disposition is so far detached from these men's disposition. So you can mourn for the wickedness of Israel and still hope that Israel can just be reconciled. His issue is, can they be reconciled? Because what did he say at the end? He says, "Oh Lord, wilt thou make a full end of the remnant of Israel?" He's concerned that nobody's going to be good enough to make it. And that's a real question. But he had that mindset versus, man, you know what? These are the niggas that got me in captivity in Babylon. He could have easily had that train of thought. Because the guys like him is why I'm here suffering, laying on my back, eating poop food. This is the point. He didn't take that stance. He's like, man, I really feel bad that all of Israel is going to fall apart and none of us are going to make it out of this situation. Let's continue in verse 14.
Verse 14. Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 14. Again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get ye far from the Lord, unto us in this land given in possession.
He says, your people, Israel, has been teaching other Israel to get far from the Lord. He says, my issue with the people is that the leadership keeps teaching Israel to get far from the Lord, to stop embracing the Lord. This is why the leaders kept getting stung, because they kept pushing Israel to go away from him versus embracing him. Read on.
Therefore say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, although I have cast thee far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered thee among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
He said, even though I've scattered you all this different way, I still haven't forgotten about you. And there's still going to be little sanctuaries and little places where people can come together and get taught. With Ezekiel, for instance, Ezekiel was a Levite. Ezekiel couldn't sit back here and get out in front of the city and proclamate the scriptures and teach the scriptures in the street. He couldn't do that. So what happened is that the people that wanted to serve the Lord, they would go to his house. During this time, they were going to Ezekiel's house and listening to him prophesy. They were going to his house and listening to him teach. He said there are going to be little sanctuaries like this all around the world that represent teaching my name. This is why even now, whether you're in San Antonio and Houston, different cities and states, there's little sanctuaries where people are teaching the word. Whether it be people are being taught on Zoom from one place to another, taught in different cities. This is what the Most High is saying. The word is going to get taught regardless of how far away from Jerusalem is happening. Okay, read on.
Therefore say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even gather you from the people, and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel.
So he's like, all of y'all that are scattered in Babylon, I'm going to bring you back to Jerusalem and bring you back to your homeland. Read on.
And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence.
You know what's crazy? When you read verse 13, the bottom of it, where it says, Our Lord, wilt thou make a full end of the remnant of Israel? The Most High is responding to Ezekiel's despair. And the best possible comfort he could give Ezekiel is, you know what? You guys are going to come back and rebuild and take away all the wickedness there. He said, listen, why didn't he say, well, man, you know what? I know that you're worried about what's going to happen to Israel,